that matter most to all of us. We provide safety, security, and sustainability to these places for people to move seamlessly and shape their lives. This is what our societies require. This is what has driven us for more than 150 years. This is why our customers put their trust in us. For every place where we learn or rest, for every place where we get inspired or create memories, for every place where we build a career or start a new chapter, for every place that shapes a community. For every place that matters. We know that good-looking spaces can be soothing on the mind and on the soul. And that is the beginning of the good life. It is here that we begin our journey in bringing this thought alive with our customers. From walls to furniture to metal surfaces, we will paint their world brighter. We will fill their life with color. We will paint every nook and corner with joy and laughter. We will paint that good life for them. MRF Paints. Paint that good life.
I love creating something, out of nothing. It's very important for us that, what the space that we have created is not just seen but felt. Passion is something which you have to change every few years, but timelessness is something it requires time to create.
Humans are social beings. We create buildings and cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect, stay, and love. Places to care for the generations that came before us while welcoming the next. Places to let our children grow and learn. To experience amazing moments or to step into new adventures. We are where our communities come together from places across town or across the world. Places that matter most to all of us. We provide safety, security, and sustainability to these places for people to move seamlessly and shape their lives. This is what our societies require. This is what has driven us for more than 150 years. This is why our customers put their trust in us. For every place where we learn or rest, for every place where we get inspired or create memories, for every place where we build a career or start a new chapter, for every place that shapes a community. For every place that matters. We know that good-looking spaces can be soothing on the mind and on the soul. And that is the beginning of the good life. It is here that we begin our journey in bringing this thought alive with our customers. From walls to furniture to metal surfaces, we will paint their world brighter.
We will fill their life with color. We will paint every nook and corner with joy and laughter. We will paint that good life for them. MRF Paints. Paint that good life.
I love creating something, out of.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. On behalf of Architects and Interiors India, I thank you all for joining us today in this gathering that exudes art and design from each corner. I'm Shiraz Khan and I will be your host for tonight. Architects and Interiors India's flagship property design debate is all about taking on contested topics in the field of architecture and design. A phenomenal initiative. Design Debate is a multi city event wherein every month we head to an exciting new city. We've conducted over 30 editions so far, traveling across the country. And for our 31st edition, we've yet again arrived in the city of Mangalore, that is home to many ancient and alluring structures of churches and temples. So here we are introducing Design Debate's brand new theme, Monumental Architecture versus Inclusive Architecture, in the major industrial port city that is also the seventh largest container port of India. You will be hearing a lot more about the theme from everyone present here tonight. We are delighted and grateful to bring together the experts of the world of architecture and design to share their thoughts and views and also to celebrate and grace this event with their presence. We look forward to some absolutely brilliant names who will soon take the stage. So, welcome to this evening, replete with knowledge sharing, and let us have a huge round of applause for Architects and Interiors India Design Debate, the Mangalore edition. So, to begin with, let me call on stage Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director of ITP Media Group, the person who ideated this platform to deliver the opening speech. So, can we please have you on stage? Can we have a huge round of applause for him?
Namaskara, Mangaluru. Namaste and warm welcome to Design Debate Mangalore edition. Mangalore, it's really close to our heart. And last time, it was the first time we came to Mangalore and we fell in love with the city. People, food, architecture, amazing. That brings us back again in the very second year while we continue continue with our journey for Design Debate. Mangalore, a city pulsating with cultural richness and historical depth, where ancient traditions blend effortlessly with modernity, stand a testament to evolution of design over centuries. Tonight we gather to delve into the heart of architecture, navigating the interplay between monumental architecture and inclusive architecture. striking a balance between grandeur and accessibility, the balance of elegance and excess. Mangalore, with its diverse architectural landscape, offers a wealth of insights into this disclosure. From the timeless beauty of Kadri Manjuna Temple to the innovative design of the new Mangalore port, the city embodies the spectrum of architectural grandeur and inclusivity at the same time. As we admire the magnificent structure that defines Mangalore's skyline, we are prompted to consider the importance of accessibility for all. For what significance does grandeur hold if it remains out of reach for a segment of our society? I extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for gracing us with your presence tonight, infusing the gathering with enthusiasm and intellect. Your participation enriches this dialogue, elevating it to new heights. Tonight's debate marks a significant milestone as we bring design debate back to Mangalore, a city renowned for its architectural diversity and ingenuity. I commend each one of you for taking time out from your busy schedules on a rainy day and join us well in time. We started this journey of design debate in 2022. We embarked on a journey that has been one of fostering dialogues and challenging perceptions across India, with a special emphasis on smaller towns. We have almost traveled 30 cities, igniting conversations and fostering deeper appreciation for the art of architecture. And today we are back amongst you for the second time in 2 years with our 31st edition. That says it all for Mangalore. Thank you. The appreciation can be louder. It's for you. I express my sincere gratitude to our curator and moderator for the evening, architect Gulshan Roy, whose expertise has been invaluable in shaping tonight's disclosure. Thank you, Gulshan. Thanks a ton for this. A very special thanks to our guest of honor today. Thank you for being here. I also extend my thanks to our esteemed panelists from the Doyens panel and the Next Gen panel for agreeing to be here today. Please join me in applauding all of them. None of this would have been possible without the unwavering support of our partners. Shuko, they have been a very strong support in all the events that we do. They have a beautiful booth behind and an extremely talented team to guide you how you can have best of the aluminum windows, profiles, as well as facades in your projects. So you can visit them. Thank you, Jatin. Thank you, Shuko team, for being with us. Dorma Kaba, another partner of ours with a very strong support, they have put up a beautiful booth behind where they can show you how you can secure each and every project and how you can make your project accessible. A round of applause for the Dorma team. We have MRF Epocure Paint. They can ensure like any surface you want, the way you want it to look, they'll ensure like you have the product solution for it. Learn more when they present today here like at Design Debate. Thank you, Wilson. You have been a major support again. Thank you so much. MCI Marble, you must visit their showroom. A very beautiful collections of stones from world over. They have a stall behind again where they have displayed few of the products, and you must have seen a very artistic installation downstairs while we are walking up the stage. It's by MCI Marble. You must visit their experience center in Bangalore. Then we have iVivo. They are into high-end furniture. You must meet the team here later. And we have, of course, Fundamax. Thank you, Mr. Reddy. Thank you, Ashwini. They have an amazing display behind. They are into cladding, and they ensure you have your exteriors as well as your interiors properly covered. More when Ashwini presents on board. Thank you. Your partnership has been instrumental in bringing this tonight's event to fruition, and we are immensely grateful for the continued support you had given us. While the physical capacity of the venue may be limited, the spirit of our disclosure knows no boundaries. So we are online now. So there are a lot of people watching us online. So we have taken the event on all our social media handles. The links are shared on our website, www.architectandinteriorsindia.com. Before I pass on the baton to Shiraz, let me provide you a glimpse into the endeavors of ITP Media and the profound impact we aspire to create in the realm of architecture. Can I have the AV, please? Yeah, so this was a small glimpse of what we do. You must have seen a slide showing Construction Week Awards. That is like our sister publication, Construction Week, under which we do Construction Week Awards. And fortunately, the nominations for that award have opened today. And there is a dedicated category for architects, interior designers, and interior contractors. I'll put up a slide at the end of the event where you can scan the QR code and send in your nominations. Please do participate. It's one of the biggest shows for the inclusive construction industry in India, where we have all verticals of construction industry coming under one head. So let's approach tonight's debate with open mind, a sprinkle of humor, and an ardent dedication to exploring the nuances of architectural philosophy. May the most compelling ideas resonate and pave the way for a most inclusive and awe-inspiring architectural landscape. Thank you once again. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that heartwarming speech. Architects and Interiors India's design debate aims at presenting the most trusted and reputed brands in the field of architecture and interior design. And having said that, I present to you all one of the oldest and leading brands in the industry that offers high quality aluminum windows, doors, and facades. Can we please have the AV of Shuko?
I love creating something, out of nothing. It's very important for us that, what the space that we have created is not just seen but felt. Passion is something which you have to change every few years, but timelessness is something it requires time to create.
Thank you to the team of Shuko. I would now like to invite Mr. Jatin Tyagi, Head Residential Business India, to kindly come on stage and present further about Shuko India.
Good evening. Namaste, Mangaluru. Namaste, Bharat, for the people who are outside, who are here from outside Mangaluru. And am I audible? It's the right level of volume. Yeah, thank you. So, thank you very much for Indrajit for giving us a chance and remembering every time in all your events. It's more about association, family, and not about a sponsor to the event. Thank you very much once again. Uh, I'll take 5 minutes of yours, not more than that, to explain how we are passionate about outstanding buildings. We don't create or make door windows, we make buildings which live. The video you have just now witnessed was an example that we may stay outside of the building, but we are connected to the inside of the building as well. And we think that way that you have warm, comfortable spaces to live inside when you are thinking about door windows, facade, skylights, and any external envelope of your buildings. Schuko primarily is a German company present in the world for more than 75 years now, and we are present in India for more than 12 years. Practically, we are present from Sonmarg to the tip of the country to downwards Kanyakumari, and we also serve neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka from here. I'll cover all the points what you are seeing on the screen one by one, and it is very limited. It will not cover the entire portfolio, entire range. As Indrajit told, we have a booth there. We have a team here which will take you to the detailing of each and every topic what you want later on. So, Shuko, being a leader in facades and fenestration, we offer you all types of door windows, facades, skylights, railings, louvers, both manual and automatic. We have been in India, as I suggested, practically Shuko India is there for more than 12 years, but we were doing business as a from outside as well. And we have covered more than 15 years of journey over here. We design high performance. So whenever we design, the performance of our is a prime importance. So we take care of all the performance parameters like wind load, air permeability, water tightness, sound insulation, and your thermal insulation topics. Beyond this, we also go for bullet resistant topics and fire retardant topics. If you have anything, we can design your building from the very day one to the handing over and the service part as well. During this journey, there is questions that what do you have? You offer that only? No, we work with you very closely to optimize the solutions and to customize the solutions as per the requirement of the building. So please talk to us. We can do that as well. And we are masters of supply. So we have a large warehousing in India itself. We are very close to you. We are not only a global brand, we are a local or a global brand now, to say correctly. And we are much faster than any company in India who is supplying you door, windows, facades, aluminium systems. And the story doesn't end the supply. We are there till the handing over the project. And as I said, after sales service also. So we do audit our sites that whatever is installed by our partners, by our fabricators, is to the right standard, what we want the building or door windows to be. So we have some proficiencies or USPs, which we have developed in last few years, seeing the market requirement. I have seen people struggling to use larger glasses or heavier glasses. We have recently developed a system which can cater to 1 ton of glass, 1000 kg of glass in a single piece. And you can practically have it in your building or a private home. We also do a sliding system which goes up to 4.5 meter. And it is not limited to any wind load. We can give you at 3 kPa, which is 3000 Pascal or 3500 Pascals as well. And it is tested on air permeability and water permeability at highest levels in the country any product have. This product, which I talked last, can go up to 4.5 meter and still can have interlocks as slim as 19 mm or 25 mm. Going to that heights. So you can imagine you can put this 25 mm interlock system, 19 mm interlock system at heights of G plus 60 stories. So we always believe in pushing outside the boundaries. That's what we are saying. When you think of anything, come to us. You think, you design, and we will build it for you. That's our thing. And we always believe in running together with the progress of the country. So our motto is build outstanding buildings and Desh Banao. We also have local presence over here in Mangaluru, which is very important. We want to stay as close as possible to you. And this is one of our very nice showrooms being built here in Mangaluru city. You people can visit anytime. The partner, who is Kamal Spaces, is also available over here at our stall in the event. You can discuss with him, you can take appointments, and please visit that. You will find one of the finest systems of the country installed over here. This is one of the example of Mangaluru project which we have already finished. So I just wanted to let you know, we are not only talking that we will be, we are already here and executed projects. And at this point, I will also like to inform you, I thought that G plus 20, G plus 40 is a thing for Bombay, Delhi and Bangalore. We have just bagged a project which is G plus 53 in Mangaluru. So the journey of making a skyline in Mangaluru has started for us. These are some of the reference projects to show you what we have done in the past and we could do in future also. The left one is the project from Ahmedabad, which is Indian Potash Limited. You can see the panels are diagonal, and within this diagonal panels, uh, you can have openables also in parallel pop out, top hung, any type of typologies. The right side of you, right side of the slide is One Hyderabad, which is a residential towers. But if you see, it looks like a facade being installed on a residential building. So it's a combination of a unitized facade and slider customized for this project. I think what architect showed on the intact is there in the reality after the project is completed. You can visit. This is one of the super project. 10,000 square feet of single flat is being made over here. We also do private homes. I think roughly 1,500 private homes we deliver every year. This is one of the example from Chandigarh, from architect Aman Agarwal. If you see on the right side, we have solutions which opens to the open corners to your building, and with all performance parameters being intact. This is another example again from North India, which is a residence in Panipat, and this is a Carbonado residence which has won, I would say, being featured in our calendar, global calendar, which goes to 85 countries, and one of the best houses done by us till date. This is again in Pathankot, in Jalandhar, and this is very important building, I would say. Most of you know about ITPO Pragati Maidan. We have done that building, and the National Convention Center also, where the G20 summit happened. All these campus buildings are done by Shuko Facades. We are also into high-rise residential towers. This is one of the project from Delhi, which is developed by IREO. This is a house in Bhopal, which had a unique requirement of sunlight facing to the windows, and still you have to stop the U value requirement. You have to meet the U value requirements and HSEC values. So very interesting project. If you want to discuss, if you want to know more about it, please meet us after this presentation. This is a house in Ahmedabad. If you can see, we can do double height structures also. And this is a 4-year-old house. The technology has developed. We can reduce the width of the MS you are seeing in between. So it can be more cleaner now. This is a house in Goa. For more information and whatever you liked, whatever you want to explore, whatever you want to design and make us work on that, please reach our team. I am there. Dhaval Takkar from my team is there. He's taking care of retail business, and Hitacharan Raju is also there. Thank you very much. I think we can start from here, the sketch, and make the outstanding buildings for you and your customers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tyagi. That was an impressive presentation. And dwelling further in this evening, we are excited and thrilled to introduce our guest of honor for the evening. As we look forward to hear him share his expertise on art and culture and his experience on design and architectural world, we cannot thank him enough for adding value to this gathering with his mere presence. He is the founder director of Nite Institute of Architecture, Mangalore, and an architect, urban planner, sustainability, and green building specialist. Holding a dual degree in architecture and urban planning from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, he has over 30 years of experience in the field of architecture, from running his own office to working in the US Green Building Council in Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause in welcoming our guest of honor for tonight, Architect Vinod Arana, the Director of Nitte Institute of Architecture. Sir, can we please have you on stage? Welcome to the show, sir. The forum is all yours. Yes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you, Shiraz, for that introduction. I'm here amazed and thankful to the organizers, in particular, Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director of ITP Media, and Shiraz Khan, host and writer, for having me here. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a special evening. On one hand, we have the organizers who've taken efforts to put together this wonderful show. We have a whole host of industry people from vendors who you've just seen amazing stuff. Earlier days when we used to organize functions and events of this nature, the only time we would see good architecture was when the presenter would come forward and put forth their presentations, architects of repute. But today we see even industry people putting together wonderful combination of all of them up for us to see. I'm going to be brief. And today, looking at the folks out here, architects from across the region, and I see so many familiar faces, friends, it brings to mind that each of us are problem solvers, design thinkers, and folks with passion. Many a times, though we study architecture, and I'm glad that there are so many of you out here, many of our graduating architects don't really practice architecture. They follow the family life. Some folks go abroad, work in areas other than architecture, photography and movies and whatnot. And few of them into mainstream. Today, as we are here to talk about what we are up with, it brings to mind an inspirational figure who visited Mangalore 10 years ago. We had the privilege to host architect Charles Correa, exactly, possibly almost just 10 years ago. I have my friends out here. We brought him all together. And he had so many things to say over the 3 days that we were with him literally almost like 24/7. Among the many events that come back to memory were talks with him to understand what should it be, how should architects practice, what should they be doing, what is their contribution to society, where are they positioned? To which he had this to say for practicing architects. What he said was, anybody who practices architecture should give a wee bit of their time to academia, go there, be with the students, get the feel of it. But he said, those who are in academia should definitely have a practice on the side, which means you need to get involved. This brings to a point where it's important for us to understand that industry and academia are both connected. And if we recognize this, it will help us to bring many things together. And one among the things out here, my friends would agree, is positioned by Charles Correa himself, where he said, why don't you get together all the architects over here meaning this was 10 years ago, this was his position, and said, work for the city. You have this broad-based understanding of what design means. You understand people. It's one of the few professions where you interconnect so many disciplines together. You overarch between humanities, engineering, technology, societies, communities. And he advocated what he called Mangalore first. So today I'm here before you to relive that dream. And I'm hoping towards the end of this event, after you've gone through all the presentations, looked through all of what's to be offered by the vendors and equipment manufacturers, is that can we get together to make this happen? It's not difficult. It means connecting with not just the architects, but with industry, whether it's the Canberra Chamber, whether it's folks from finance, whether it's the big industries in this region, and many of them are willing, if we are willing. So this is where my position is. Potential areas to do this could range from industry to education, healthcare, traffic management, infrastructure, the environment, and so much more. This requires this collaborative effort. And I urge each of you towards the end of this event to come together to make this happen. The other day, I was going around on a morning walk. I know it's raining, but there was this small bit of a time when I thought, let's look around and see what's happening. And I came across this kingfisher, something that we see. So what is this morning's, what is our morning's bread available for birds? There was a time when we would see sparrows, but not anymore. We do get to see them in portions, but this has been taken away from us, whether it is the farmers' markets that we should be looking at, or whether it is the homeless. Article 21 of the Constitution talks of an equal right for people to have a home of their own, or whether it is waste to wealth. Mangalore City Corporation had some time back started, and it is still there at the Urva area, where they have a biogas plant that converts home waste into electricity. The areas around the Urva area, a small portion of it are serviced by streetlights from this area. I bring these points to you as I dwell upon another individual, and both whom I also had the privilege to interact with over time. And Ken Yang from Malaysia is an architect who has a sense to work with ecosystems. His mantra is in taking up simple areas of ecology, which he takes from what he calls as an ecological matrix, where he analyzes sites, local water, the flora, the fauna, and so many other areas. We were instrumental, fortunately, to be working with him on a project with our university at NITTE to develop a master plan. And in the process, we're able to garner this information of how he works with ecology to make magic. An effect of the master plan is here. Ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, I must say that this urge to connect back with the profession, to make the profession connect back with society, and to engage with society to make Mangalore move ahead is something that I would put forth over here. We have the organizers, the ITP media, who have a strong system of how they could bring all of us together. We have vendors here who have the power to harness for us. And most of all, we have the talent among us to make this happen. May I urge you to take forward and make Mangalore first. A small thing on Kampung Naga was a travel I did into Indonesia, where local habitat has been done very sustainably, where not more than 250 or so families live together in a commune
in the Eastern Java region and work within a system of age-old practices. The details are many, but just to let you know that there are communities like this all over the globe in different areas, but few of them. So again, coming back to where we are, I just say, let's treat Mangalore with the love and respect it deserves. I hope we take this forward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I request you to please return back to stage. It was a real pleasure to have you speak at the podium and share your knowledge, share your views about the architecture industry, your experience with architect Charles Correa. I would now like to invite Mr. Jatin Tyagi, Head of Residential Business India from Shuko, and Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director from ITP Media Group, to kindly felicitate our dear guest of honor. Can we please have another round of applause for Mr. Jatin Tyagi? Can we please have you on stage? Thank you so much. Architect and Interiors India's design debate aims at acknowledging brands that offer quality with a wide range of options, and we are humbled to introduce one such brand known for its luxury stones in India, sourced from the finest quarries in the world. Can we please have Mr. Raghavendran N., Vice President of Business Development from Marble Center International, to please come on stage and elaborate further about the exquisite collection of natural stones by Marble Center International.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all looking forward for the vibrant discussions ahead. My name is Raghavendra, and I'm here representing Marble Center International, India's leading brand for luxurious natural stone. At MCI, we have always believed in transformative power of design. Since our inception in 1989 as a natural stone company, we have been deeply invested in material that form the foundation of both monumental and inclusive architecture. We understand and appreciate the significant impact that thoughtful, innovative design can have on our world. That's why we are here, honored to support this debate where brilliant minds come together, share ideas, challenge each other, and push the boundaries of creativity. Today's debate on monumental architecture, inclusive architecture, balancing grandeur with accessibility is especially compelling. It also touches the essence of design, dual role in inspiring awe and ensuring accessibility for all. This balance is crucial in creating spaces that are not only beautiful but also welcoming and functional for all. Now, please take a moment to watch this brief AV showcase our journey and some of our earlier facilities in Bangalore. Can we please play the AV, please? Thank you. As you can see, our commitment to excellence and innovation has been constant throughout our history. However, we are always striving to push the boundaries further. With that in mind, I'm excited to share with you the latest advancement and the newest facility that represent the future of MCI. Can you please say the AV, please? Thank you for your time and attention. We are thrilled to be part of this journey with you and look forward to the enlightened discussion ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a beautiful presentation. Design Debate, being a knowledge sharing platform, brings together the industry experts to involve in a panel discussion and gives them an opportunity to share their views and thoughts. And only an expert with profound knowledge and experience can precisely moderate these panel discussions. We are fortunate to have one such personality amongst us tonight who shall conduct the panel discussions for this edition. The visionary founder of the most renowned architectural firm embarked on his architectural career with a modest team of one assistant in 2000. Over the years, his dedication to excellence and innovation has expanded his practice into a boutique studio comprising 10 talented architects and designers. He has made significant strides in the field of architecture since establishing his practice in the year 2000. He has he has been recognized as one of the top 100 architects in India by Architects and Interiors India magazine. His work epitomizes a blend of multidisciplinary expertise and innovative design. Graduated from Manipal Institute of Technology in the year 1997, he holds a degree of Bachelor of Architecture and took short-term courses like Light Design from Creative Lighting London and Masterclass in Architectural Vision from States of Art Academy, Venice, to name a few. His architectural philosophy revolves around creating spaces that are not only aesthetically pleasing but also functional and inclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense pleasure in welcoming our curator and moderator for tonight, Architect Gulshan Roy, Principal Architect of Gulshan Roy Architects INC. Can we please have a huge round of applause for him? Sir, can we please have you on stage?
Good evening, friends. Cheers. It's a great pleasure to be here today as a curator and moderator of this design debate. Firstly, I would like to thank my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Indrajit Sauji and his team at ITP Media for their exceptional efforts in organizing this event. And special thanks to our host, Sheraz, for a constant follow-ups, for this activity and collaborating with me in curating this panel. Today, we search into this dynamic between monumental architecture and inclusivity. Can these giants inspire awe while embracing all? Our esteemed panelists will explore this question, grappling with issues of accessibility, community engagement, and future of grand design. Let's redefine grandeur, not just in scale, but in its ability to welcome and celebrate every member of our society. Finally, I'd like to extend my gratitude to all the sponsors and, of course, my friends here, Architect Vinod Arana, Architect Venkipai, who was a moderator last year's session. Thanks for being here today. And of course, a very warm thank you to our esteemed audience for your presence and patience. It's invaluable. Thank you.
I request you to kindly stay back on stage, sir. I'd now like to invite on stage Mr. Jatin Tyagi, Head of Residential Business India from Shuko, Mr. Indrajit Sauji, Group Publishing Director of ITP Media Group, along with Mr. Prashant Reddy, Managing Director from Fundamax, to kindly come on stage and felicitate our dear moderator and curator for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. And following the concept of our event, we are delighted to have yet another partnering brand with us, providing smart and secure access system across the globe. Dorma Kaba. Can we please have the AV?
Humans are social beings. We create buildings and cities, places where individuals come together and build communities. These are places to connect, stay, and love. Places to care for the generations that came before us while welcoming the next. Places to let our children grow and learn. To experience amazing moments, to step into new adventures. We are where our communities come together, places across town or across the world, places that matter most to all of us. We provide safety, security, and sustainability to these places for people to move seamlessly and shape their lives. This is what our societies require. This is what has driven us for more than 150 years. This is why our customers put their trust in us. For every place where we learn or rest, for every place where we get inspired or create memories, for every place where we build a career or start a new chapter, for every place that shapes a community. For every place that matters.
Thank you to the team of Dorma Kaba for that AV. I'd now like to invite Mr. Sudhanshu Tripathi, Manager South, to kindly come on stage and present further about the excellent security systems by Dorma Kaba.
So, good evening to the nice and beautiful audience of Mangaluru. Namaskara. So, I am Sudhanshu. So, working. So, I would like to share some of the very beautiful images here. We are the global leader in especially the access control solution, and having 160 years of experience and in 130 countries. The more important part I would like to show you that we are having more than 1800 patent. It's not moving. So we have a strong heritage like, Dorma and Kaba, these brand both are from 18th century and they both have merger happened in 2015. And to provide a world-class solution for the access control. So now it become Dorma Kaba. So we have like this word, if you see high performance delivered, like we are having the certification of CEUL, EN standard and ANSI standard, and different kind of certification we are having with ISO and IFC 27001 certifications. And not only that, we are having India's first laboratory lab accredited by NRBL for hardware testing, which is available in Chennai. So that is our own lab, which is got this accreditation. So the world today, what we are looking at, and the world which is going to be tomorrow is continuously changing due to the different kind of innovation. So that trends that defined us, that is Dorma Kaba. Sorry, just change on the slides. No, next. So problem. Sorry for the inconvenience, some problem. Yeah, okay. So as I mentioned that the world is changing, whatever you're looking at. So the world become from touch to touchless access right now, and the world is shifting to from the mechanical system to the electromechanical system, and we are now become more friendly with mobile and biometrical authentications access system nowadays. So what we are offering, that is always in a different way. We are how we enable your business, like through assess imagine, like balancing form and function. We enable both, and we have integrated providing integrated assess by integrating assess at every stage of building life cycle. What's that? Okay, fine. And the making, and we are providing the seamless flow in every place, whether it's industrial place, whether it's a residential place, through making the flow of people effortless as much as possible. And we believe in sustainability by answering your needs for a sustainably built environment. So as you know, the sustainability as a key factor, we are aligned with like nine, like we contribute to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We are aligned with the 9 SDG goals of United Nations. And not only we are just selling our product to the market, we are available with us for every stage of the life cycle of the building, like by designing the product as well as by assisting you for specifications. For we are having a very good specification team also. So we are doing that. Just a small video clip for you.
You don't just plan houses and buildings. You create spaces that define how we work, connect, and live. And we are proud to support you through this process. To achieve your project goals, we work plan in a flexible manner, adhering to your timeline and budget. To save time and money, we advise on product suitability and performance at an early stage. To meet the project requirements successfully, we review your design and security planning with you so that you don't have to give up on aesthetics to ensure access is safe and secure. With dormakaba, you'll have both. We advise and guide you on compliance to fire safety, building regulations and standards. We identify the hazards and evaluate any risks that may arise during the design phase. Whilst doing that, we can also support your BIM model development through our extensive library of BIM objects. And by using the 360 City app, you can browse a wide range of 3D products and solutions in operation, which will allow you to virtually experience the most compatible options for your project. With us, you obtain the right information on the right products, from complete specification texts and BIM objects to tailored advice on complex technical requirements. We are committed to being your strategic partner, your single source for all building entry, access, and security solutions or challenges. Our specification and planning experts will support your project at all stages of design, so you can focus on your vision and shape the future of our cities.
So why I shown the video to you, because we are not only involved in the selling the product, we are available for you for from the first stage till the last step. We are there to assist you. And these are some of the segment, like in access control, we are having the architectural hardware, internet glass systems, the entrance systems are available, EAD, electronic access data, safe locks for the hotels and some of the premium residents also, mechanical key systems, lodging systems, as well as we are having electric, like this movable walls are also available. You might have seen in some of the property, the movable walls, and we are having the service also. So these are the segments. Dormakaba is very strong and they are always there to assist you. So this is showing Dormakaba lifestyle, because I am in Mangalore, the beautiful city. There are a lot of HNIs, there are a lot of beautiful residents are there. So lifestyle means this is a segment where we are here to assist you for building your dream home, like for the HNIs. So some of the lifestyle product I would like to tell, when we are entering into the house, the digital door locks, there are very beautiful models with fingerprint, RFID cards. You are having that password protections, everything. We are having facial recognition lock also available. Even we are providing in the residence the space dividing solutions like like FSW folding sliding wall, the horizontal sliding walls. We are providing the Magnio, Muto. These are some of the space dividing solution for your residents. Even for your shower area also, we are providing this kind of shower partitions also. We are making in the HNI client's house. This is one concept I would like to tell you, like we are offering one house, one key. Like that one key, master key can control the entire house with specific functions we are giving. And it is one of the secure key systems with different kind of like high security patented, and our key cannot be copied illegally through any just like that 3D vendors. So these are the products we are providing. And I would like to just take you through one more thing, one of our legendary next generation product for the automatic sliding door, ES Pro line. So I'd love to launch in Mangalore. Problem is there. Oh, this will do. Yeah. Okay, we can go next. No issue. So you have seen that automatic sliding solution for that. We are right now present in all the sectors like airport, healthcare, offices, hospitality. You name any sector, we are available with your support. Now we are trying to enter the residence where we can also offer the security access to the HNI clients. So there are some of the iconic project globally we have done, and there are certain project we have done like in our India, like Amazon Development Center in multiple locations. Amazon is one of the client for us. We have done PCAs, we have done in Pan India project for Google and Apple also. Since I'm standing in Mangaluru, so we have done the Mangalore Airport project, the e-gates we have done. We have done in Delhi, Mumbai International Airport and Bangalore Airport also. So in Mangalore Airport also, Jaipur Airport, Guwahati Airport, we have done the e-gates, which is right now going on. And I am proudly tell that these are some of the hospitality project partners like his Mariton, the Marriott, Hiltons and Delta Hotels, all are our partner for their project. So like that, they are associated with us. So I would like to request you, like whenever you are facing one house, just think about Dorma Kava, think about us. We are there always to assist you, not only selling the product, that we are going to available with you from first stage to till the last stage of the product. Thank you very much. You are a nice audience. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that insightful presentation. And as we move ahead introducing our esteemed partners one after the other, it's now time to discover one of the most eminent suppliers for architectural products for interior and exterior application. I would like to invite Mr. Ashwani Khanna, Chief Customer Officer, to kindly come on stage and present about the high quality building materials by Fundamax.
Good evening, everyone. Namaskara, Mangaluru. Now, before I get thick of things, I would request Akshit to play the first video, which is a design video for us.
Design is where aesthetics meets functionality, where beauty touches the surface. It is art making itself useful, touching the heart all the while. Individuality is what we want to offer. Uniqueness is what you make it. We see ourselves as co-designers of your design wishes. That's how we become partners in your success. Our origin is the book in which we turn the pages to read the future. Since we know where we come from, we also know where we want to go. Our products know it too. They want to find their way to you. Perfection is more than a claim to our skills. It is our way of showing respect for natural raw materials, our way of bringing production and processing to perfection. Change has been our constant for 130 years, and we're doing it again. We change, we think ahead. We are open for new things, for inspiration, for innovation, and collaboration. Open for you, and open for you to create.
Thank you, Akshit. Can I have the PPT, please? Okay, so Fundamax, we are actually Austrian company. We are having a long tradition of 130 years. We are 130-year-old company based out in Austria. We value nature because our raw materials are coming from nature, and these raw materials are sourced responsibly. So whether it is wood or it is paper, because we are into wood-based and paper-based products, they are coming from FSC certified or PEFC certified vendors. We love design, as you saw it in the video as well, and we want to be a co-designer along with you in your projects. We complete what nature gives us. Nature is just giving the raw material to us, and of course the other things. And we are actually changing the property of a paper to last long, to become sustainable. And we are making the compact laminates. I'll explain what exactly the product is in later part of my presentation. So Fundamax is actually part of a big group known as Constantia Industries. Fundamax globally, we are 4,000 crore company. And we have other companies like Isovolta and Isosports. Constantia Services is providing the common services to these three companies. So we represent Fundamax, and I will talk about the products in detail now. So we are mainly into facades. The product is M-Look and Max Exterior. M-Look is nothing but a A-class material, which is totally non-combustible material and quite suited for the current requirements when the fire cases are going up. This is used for facades, balcony cladding, fences. And Max Exterior is basically our flagship product. It contributes to more than 95% of our sales. It's a Class B material. The fire classification is BS2D0. The applications are like it is used for facades, balconies, gates, fences, pergolas, soffits, any external cladding, any external surface which you think of, it can be cladded with our material. So we, as I said, we are ready to work as a co-designer with the architects, designers, and specifiers. We understand the requirement. It goes to our technical team, application engineering team, and we can work on very complex details. If it is a high rise, for example, if it is a high rise building, we can even work out the, we can even work out the wind load requirement, structural requirement, and provide the solution to the case. And then our Austria will produce the product accordingly. So our main objective is to deliver the iconic building, not just do the sales. We want to deliver the iconic building because facade is something like face of a building. It has to be unique. So we see every project like a canvas. And we invite everyone to design every project, every canvas in a unique way. And this is quite possible with our range of products, colors, decors available with us. It's quite possible. So these panels are scratch resistant. They are easy to clean, solvent resistant, easy to install. They are extremely weather resistant. And they are UV resistant, impact resistant, and double hardened. So any color or any decor which has become part of our collection, which is for exteriors, it has undergone testing for almost 6 months to be qualified to be part of the collection. So in fact, we surprised the industry when we launched laminates for exterior applications, because laminates we have heard always for the interior application, like thin laminates or internal applications. So yes, as I mentioned earlier, we can use it for facades, soffits, even some curved applications can be done. Ceilings, louvers, you can have sun shading systems, column cladding can be done because this is an impact resistant material. So column are not a problem at all. Gates and fences, even signages can be done. Some of the projects, this is like, just to tell you, we have done more than 20,000 projects in India, more than 7,000 projects. I mean, more than 7,000 projects are only from Karnataka. We are headquartered in Bangalore. So this is a project in Bangalore. This is how we can do the perforation as well. CNC cutting can be done. This is a school project in Kerala. This is a corridor where this kind of application has been done. This also helps in reducing the noise because our panel itself can absorb 15% of the sound. Plus, with the perforation, the NRC value has gone up. This is again a project in Bangalore. This is Niti Meenakshi School in the left one is Niti Meenakshi School in Bangalore. And right is an example of shading device, one of the project in Kerala. Yeah. These are screens, balcony applications, fences, gates. This is very different actually. We can create any design. This is printing on the panel actually. It is individual decor. We call it as individual decor. So what you conceive in your head, we can deliver it on the panel, something like this. This is also a project in Bangalore. This is a school project actually. This is roof cladding, which is done with the proper gutter system. It's an international project. A pergola application. This is in Mumbai. Like this would be interesting for Mangalore to know, like this project has been done. The extreme right project, which you see, is facing the tropical sun. It's a semicircular building facing the tropical sun throughout the day. So the angle of louvre has been defined in such a way that, shading coefficient is optimized. Thereby giving visual and thermal comfort to the occupants of the building. So, and in Mangalore, we have more than 50 projects which we have done. And thanks to Mr. Gulshan Roy, who has supported us during our journey where we are standing today. This is an example of individual decor. This is an international project. So as I said, we have done more than 20,000 projects, sold 2 million square meter of external facades. We have a warehouse in Bangalore having 60,000 square meter of stock with us at any given point of time. We not only provide just the panels, we are also providing the complete solution. So the back frames, the aluminum frames are also provided by us, including the rivets. We maintain more than 35,000 SKUs. Um, so thereby we also have a network of trained partners across the country. Here also we have Kamal and Fab, who is also present here, who are partners for Fundamax as well. So that's how we provide the complete solution to the buildings. This is from my side as far as the presentation is concerned. Now I'm requesting Akshit to please play the video, which is having more references and more projects to show. Thank you for watching, and we finally invite all of you to create iconic buildings, unique facades, and for interaction, we have a small booth at the back. You're most welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashwani. That was a very interesting presentation. And now we move on to the most awaited part of the evening, our panel discussions. We would now like to begin with the Dynamic Doyens panel, the stalwarts of the design industry. Hello. Keep the mics on the table. And take another other mics also and keep it on the table. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. On behalf of Architects and Interiors India, I would like to thank and welcome all the DOINS panelists for making time for our event. And thank you in advance for contributing to this event. To begin this session, I'd like to welcome back on stage our curator and moderator, Architect Gulshan Roy. Sir, can we please have you on stage? Can we have a huge round of applause? Thank you, sir. I would now like to handle the forum to you.
Thank you, Shiraz. So we have 5 eminent DOINs here. So firstly, I would like to welcome architect Monica Kamath to be on stage. Monica graduated from UEC College of Architecture in 1992 and worked in the field of architecture and interior design for more than 30 years. Having worked in firms across Bangalore, Mumbai, and Mangalore, she, with the partners, formed 2PKM Architects. The firm expanded to open its branches in Mysore in 2014 and now with 2 more partners. Their vast body of works of firm includes a wide spectrum in and around coastal Karnataka, Malabar Coast, and Mysore. Welcome, Monica. I would like to welcome architect Niren Jain. Niren Jain is a practicing architect and environmental planner based in Mangalore. Earned his bachelor's degree from Manipal Institute of Technology and Masters of Science degree in Environmental Conservation from University of Wisconsin, USA. He previously held positions as a member of Mangalore Urban Development Authority and served as a member on board of studies at the Faculty of Architecture within MAHE. Currently, Niren is actively engaged as the convener of Mangalore chapter of the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage. Beyond his professional life, Niren's passion extends to forest and wildlife conservation in the Western Ghats. Welcome, Niren. I would like to welcome architect Deepak D'Souza. You. Architect Deepak from General Corporation, a distinguished architectural firm based in Mangalore, established in the year 2002. Known for his unwavering commitment to transforming clients' vision into reality. The firm excels in minimalistic architecture that emphasizes simplicity, functionality, and refined elegance. His expertise is particularly evident in their work on sacred spaces with notable projects, including the Kalmari Church at Udupi and Father Muller's Chapel in Mangalore. He has a dedicated team of collaborators closely with clients to ensure each product in harmonious blend of innovative design. Welcome, Deepak. I would like to welcome architect Chetan Kamath. Architect Chetan Kamath completed architecture from MIT Manipal, started own practice in Mangalore since 2003. He works on luxury hotel projects and hospitality projects, residential villas, apartments, commercial projects, and has expanded his practice to Bangalore, Goa, and Andhra. And he has bagged a Ultratech Cement Award as an architect for the most outstanding villa twice. Now I would like to welcome architect Palaksha Shetty. Palaksha, a graduate of architecture from Academy of Architecture, Mumbai, and has a master's degree from CEPT. He is the founder, partner, and principal at Studio Subtle, a collective design firm founded in 2011. Palaksha also is an associate professor at NITI Institute of Architecture, and he loves to research in kinetic architecture. Welcome, Palaksha. Welcome, friends. So now let's start with our debate, which I think all the audience have been waiting patiently from so long. To start with you, Monica, I would like to touch upon the Mangaluru aspect of monumental and inclusivity. How can architecture in Mangaluru best reflect the city's unique cultural heritage and vibrant communities, while also ensuring inclusivity for all residents and visitors?
Thank you, Gulchan. So I would like to say that the architecture in Mangalore can reflect the community's vibrant cultural heritage and also ensure inclusiveness in the following ways. So one first is by actually incorporating the traditional elements of architecture in the contemporary scenario. So first we see that Mangalore architecture buildings have a very strong architectural character, and this is seen in the tile roofs as well as the laterite walls and courtyards in some cases, and also the deep verandas. Now, actually, all these have been bypassed in favor of a global architecture that is prevalent these days. So if we incorporate these features in the present scenario by combining it with modern materials and technology, I think we can create a very relevant and timeless architecture. Secondly, we can also incorporate the community spaces in Mangalore. Like Mangalore is very well known for its cultural events and festivals. And what happens is, like the Yakshagana performances, tiger dance during Dashera festivals, and also Ganpati festival celebrations. So if we actually provide space for these activities, then it can ensure public involvement and also ensure social cohesion. Thirdly, we can also have the local art installed installations, and this can ensure that we celebrate the city's vibrant culture. Fourthly, I would like to say is
Your
that
thoughts, Niri, this right now?
No, I think Mangalore does, I mean, at least in terms of context, the climate, it was, I think it was very relevant earlier, but today, because of globalized or the contemporary architecture, which is more or less universal everywhere, it is changing. So I think we need to somewhere relate to that and do better in terms of being more inclusive in terms of for the society and in terms of the context of the climate also.
Anyone else? This?
Just to add what Monica said, the celebrations are very important where community comes together. And that's the place where we can really reflect our tradition and culture, especially those spaces where the Dashera procession takes place from the Kudroli temple and back to the Kudroli temple. It forms kind of a path right now, and that path doesn't have any interesting things other than the hotel steps for people to sit. So I think this could be temporary as well, not just permanent affairs. This could change the scenario of Mangalore every now and then, make it more vibrant. And I think more, as I said, kinetic movement in architecture definitely is very important. So for us to move as well. Otherwise, we end up only standing there and going back, but not sitting down and relaxing. That's very important. Sitting down space all over the city where all these cultural things happen, like the management said the Khadri temple, which is a very, very interesting aspect. So where we see those steps become a very important format for people to sit down. I think these spaces, especially when we go around Mangalore, at least in the commercial areas, a little more setbacks have been left out, and these spaces are created more interestingly. I think that
So we
builds
say
habit well,
like we create more urban spaces around.
Yes, that's for sure.
Yeah. Irene, this is for you. Again, on the Mangalore aspect of it. Mangalore has many historical buildings. Can you share some creative and successful example of adaptive reuse projects that combine heritage and inclusivity?
I would say, there are very limited examples of especially heritage buildings.
But there is one of your projects too.
Yeah, but that's not really
So
a
it's
heritage
adaptive
building.
reuse.
It's not really a heritage building. We've
But
done,
it's an adaptive reuse.
Yeah, so that wasn't a heritage building. That's why I wouldn't put it in that. But of course, that was a old BD go down, which we converted into a fitness center, Kasharp. So I would say, in fact, it was a ordinary building, which was a go down. And we had to somehow make it a little more monumental. So it's the other way around,
Yeah.
for it to be, for people to say and be proud that I'm going to this club.
Yeah.
So it's the other way around. We try to see how to make it a little more prestigious by changing it from a go down. Or people would say, oh, why should I go to that go down to work out
Did
in
you
the morning?
consider any inclusivity like when designing that project?
Yes, I think, in fact, the client was very much for it because one of the trainer was Paralympic trainer. He had to use a wheelchair. So we had to make the whole fitness center accessible, right from the ramp to the left to everywhere. He had to move everywhere, keeping that in mind. And the client also wanted, in fact, he said he would offer the fitness center for free for any of the specially challenged people. And that was a very interesting start we had from the client itself. So that was one of the
Apart
projects.
from that, any other historical buildings do you see where they have been put to reuse in mind?
But of course, your office itself is a great example. I just saw it recently. I think you've done a great job. And Gajali also, to an extent, is probably one of the first few which we have seen to convert it to a good adaptive reuse. And Intact Mangalore chapter also is...
That's another one.
Yeah, it's a very small project. But again, that was just the front pavilion. It was a ladies' hostel before. When I saw it for the first time, there were so many partitions there, but luckily the client had insisted that they don't touch any of the original structure, and they had to make partitions only using plywood. So we could remove all of them and get it exactly back to how it was. So that was another interesting project we worked on.
Any other projects you're...
Not in Mangalore, but a combined district when before Udupi was part of Mangalore. I guess as students of architecture, we all remember that we did our case studies in one of the heritage tile factories. It was the Manipal House.
The Manipal House. That's
So
another good
I think this is one of the classic examples of adaptive reuse because a tile factory beautifully converted into an office.
Yes.
I would say that's one of the examples over here. Thank you.
But do you think any inclusivity was around this when they did this adaptive reuse?
I think in Manipal house it was for there because there were array of people coming there, the people working there, the people were who were serviced in that area, what are required. At the same time, they were welcoming most people when they did such a reuse for people to come and see. Obviously, every place has got a sanctum beyond which you can't go. But I think at least 50% of the space was open for public to go around there, as long as you have a prior approval. But I think as a visual connection, whenever we passed by, we had a good look at it.
Thanks, Sipat. Deepak, this is for you. What is the social impact of prioritizing monumental architecture over inclusive architecture and vice versa? Do these choices affect community cohesion and social equity?
That's quite a big one. Okay, as the monument says. Okay, the thing is, monuments in the past were definitely built to show power, but now power is with the people, I guess. And don't you believe so? You know, education is up the ramp. We have media playing a very vital role, educating people that monuments are not to be created just to see, but to experience as well. I think for that reason, we have to take some experience from the West as well. You know, this is the area where we have to really learn. Inclusivity is not special. It is a part of the design which will change the way people think today. I think inclusivity is very important because to be involved in monumental level, because I think our today's our bus stands, our railway stations, our airports are actually monuments which people use. I think inclusivity has come in to level. See, look at the air travel today. It's affordable, unlike before. Even you can see even a person working in the tile industry books his ticket 6 months in advance to go. He takes 4 flights to go back to his hometown, which saves him 10 days. Isn't it amazing? I mean, it's across the space. Now, what happens is everybody is welcome as long as he is able to understand, take the courage to take the next step. I think monumentalism creates some sort of a barrier, for sure, as long as you define it. Because in the past, monuments, I will repeat again, in the past, monuments were created as a sign of power. People are only able to see it and admire it. That's it. But if you see the progress of society, especially in Madurai temples and so many temples, they were all circles and circles and circles, you know. So what happens is
but here we are looking at like what social impact
it does. See, in the past, it created a divide. You know, it's only to say, oh. But today, people are a part of it. You know, most of these monuments have become centers of tourism, generating income. Whereas inclusivity, once you get into it, which means people are accepting that change. Because monuments are no longer to be created only for visual or showing that thing. Obviously, they are, airport today is a mark of significance power.
Absolutely.
At the same time, it is functional. And definitely inclusivity has come into it right now.
Yeah, Chit.
I feel architecture is not only about arrangement of bricks and mortar.
Yes.
I think it is more towards understanding social values, its social needs and aspirations of the society, right? So building a architectural, designing a space or is always somebody's vision or aspiration. So buildings like your Great Wall of China or Colosseum, Taj Mahal is always, you know, is a testament of the
monument.
Testament of that particular society, some civilization. So it is always somebody's vision or aspiration.
Naren, any take on this?
Yeah, I think so. It's like you rightly said, it is basically to show the status of individual or a community or something. So, but having said that, so we still, when we look back, maybe 500 years back, 1,000 years back, we largely only see what is monumental. right? I mean, the other buildings or the other architecture is hardly visible for such a long duration.
Yeah, but here it is like how we cohesively work, creating the monumental, getting the socio.
Yeah, so if you think of it today, even if you're creating monumental buildings, I don't think any of those would last more than 500 years, or for that matter, probably 200 years. So, one, whether there is a need for it today to have or to create a status to do monumental buildings today, and if we do it, how should we do it? I mean, obviously, it's not by again, if we are to do it, I don't know if we'll have that vision at all, because the mandate of who's governing today, the vision is only for 5 years. So we might not even think more than that. So even if we do it, I'm sure it'll be inclusive about the whole vision of the society and how should we do it. Because there are environmental impacts, there are other aspects.
Over to you, Palaksha. Implementing inclusive features can sometimes add complexity to a design. How can we strike a balance between achieving grandeur and ensuring the space remains affordable and practical?
Okay. Yeah, I feel, primarily one of the fundamental things that architecture does is putting together human community. The act of putting together this human community, the smaller nuances of it, if we look into what, Alexander Zonis or Henry Lefebvre talks about, and again, Korea talks about the ritualistic path. It's about the movement, the situations, and the circumstances, the smaller nuances, the smaller circumstances, looking into people, and not the visual perception of built forms, not the iconic image of built form. Architecture expresses aspirations. Architecture expresses climate, culture, and people.
Okay. Your take on it, Deepak?
See, nowadays inclusivity is a part of design which is being integrated, not separately. Initially, people were treated who couldn't walk as they used to say they can't. Today they are said differently abled. The thing is now incorporating this design into rather than retrofitting things is more important.
Absolutely.
I think how we design for fire, at the same time we design for all these aspects also becomes very important. Now, when you integrate all these things, maybe your ramp itself can suffice, your steps can be avoided. So thing is, if you look at an innovative ways of looking at these things as elements of newer design, you incorporate all these features as a part of the design rather than adding extra. It's not making differently able, it's for making able to everybody.
Absolutely.
That's the key. And at the same time,
that's what it's about.
Yes, and when you integrate all these things right in the beginning as the design, I think that itself could transform your design in many ways. In case, and obviously, we have got so much of technology today, we can save costs, reduce wastage, make it more better, make it optimized. I think that's where we can really strike a balance and do a better project.
So, just to add on to what he has said, I think there are many ways to look at inclusivity. I mean, of course, demographic inclusivity, gender inclusivity. I think in the process of building, if we look at inclusivity, there are many avenues of, that perhaps we as architectural fraternity can look into. The one is about, including more craftsmen and more artists in terms of, the process of building. So inclusivity, yes, I mean, in terms of demography, gender, and other social aspects are important, but also the buildability of it. When we assemble a built form, involving larger participation.
Yes, that's perfect. But how do we make affordable and practical spaces? Because sometimes inclusivity can be. We don't have to build all the time. We can deconstruct as well. That is also a phenomenon which we can look into. Larger open spaces rather than larger built forms. I think there's where everybody can be inclusive in that area. Larger garden spaces instead of larger monuments.
I think that's a key. You save the material, try to respect what the nature is. I think nature is the answer for us. A beautiful waterfall, you can't not have to redefine it again. You just have to build up some nice activities around it, and people will take care of it. I think involving people in the design, or involving people who are the stakeholders in that area, because now what happens is a lot of cutoff happen between the people who actually execute, people who design, and people who actually use. But the end user has been, today we have media, we can publicize things. Before a project is done, we involve people, and then we obviously get the kind of the statistics what are needed for a project. So in that way, first of all, whether we have to really build a monument is a question. At the same time, we can always think of monument as a temporary basis also.
As monumental.
Yes.
Yes.
A larger space, because I think redefining this word is very important today. It's maybe in the monumental in your thought is very important compared to the actual structure which you're going to build. First, obviously, today we have an option of thinking everything in terms of visuals, which can be reproduced by so many technological softwares which are there. We can actually visualize and actually calculate the impact which can have, and then do it. So in that way, I think our present scenario is much changed for these things.
Okay. Over to you, Chetan. Can monumental architecture, by its very nature, ever be truly sustainable? Discuss the environmental impact of a large-scale construction projects and ongoing resource usage.
I guess the monumental architecture which is already there, I think it needs to be preserved as it is. I mean, bringing in, I think there was a reason why inclusiveness was left out of that, because it was all, as I said, it was all about power, strength, and beauty. So, but as architects, when we design monuments for the future, I think the core value of or elements of sustainability and inclusiveness should be a part of such monuments.
Naren?
See, I think monuments are still being built. Just for the example of Dayotana, it was just an open ground and just a shrine under a tree or an idol under a tree, and that was made of wooden idol. And so that was largely, that is how it was earlier. But today we are seeing those things becoming bigger, very large temples. So the whole thing.
But here the question is like whether it's sustainable.
So sustainable is how you go about doing it, right? But the thing is, monumental, when you say that the word monumental itself is about grandeur, it's about not really to the scale of domestic scale. It has to be having that awe and the grandeur. So I'm not sure if it's going to be sustainable if we are truly going to go about a monumental.
You're looking at the cost impact also. When it's a monumental.
Cost, resource, everything. Yes. So whenever it is monumental, I don't know how much of today's society would accept really monumental structures.
Because you see like the Guggenheim Museum and in Bilbao and all that. It's all monumental in scale. Yeah.
So again, how we go about choosing the materials and how the building performs, I think there is a possibility to make it sustainable also. And again, I say, if you see monumental buildings in the past, they didn't really have great activity. If you look at Taj Mahal, what is a real activity? Or if you look at a whole lot of large temples, you just go there, and if you look at day-to-day activity for a domestic person to live, it wasn't there. It was just more of a philosophical or ideological thing. Whereas museums and art galleries, also, if you think of it, it is more of a more refinement in life, right? It's not about just living there.
Deepak? See, as long as you fix a purpose for a monumental building today, it works. it should be income generating. Look at the Statue of Unity, what has been Sadavala. It's actually a monument which is created much beyond imagination of some people. But today it's actually generating income. At the same time gives identity as well. I think today monumental system works as long as you fix a purpose to it and find its own way to maintain itself. So if you're looking at all those perspectives, I think with the newer technology, we can have better use of material instead of wasting it. At the same time, try to generate income generation as well. And the place also develops to an extent. All this moderately done, definitely well.
Good. Yeah, to the audience.
Can you be louder?
Can you
My question is
just hold on? We'll
clarification. What are we when we discuss the example of Taj Mahal or
can you frame it again?
my question to panel is this. Are we clearly defining the difference between monumentality and iconic? Is iconic a monumentality, monumental, or when we are saying accessible to everyone, are we giving a universal access or a privileged access? Because unless and until we define these areas clearly, we will not be able to reach to any kind of a debate or a discussion
No,
as
the
such.
debate is all about the universal design, where like both monumental and the inclusiveness.
What is universal design?
There are 7
I'm
principles.
sorry, I'm an academician, also practicing architect.
Okay.
So my question will be at a very fundamental level.
Correct.
I got attracted to come to here for a very simple reason that I thought that I will be able to understand about the monumentality
Absolutely.
and accessibility as such, which I'm not seeing. It's just the exchange of few words between the panelists without giving a input to.
So there is a universal design.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. So there is 7 principle of universal design where you give access. One is the access. Okay. So I can just read out what is universal design.
It's not dwell upon the access so much as dwell upon the spaces which it creates. Taj Mahal is a unique experience to be experienced as a space in terms of the outer volume and also in the inside the volume. So I think we are.
So panel, you got anything to talk on this?
So you're asking first, let's really understand what is monumental compared to monument, right? So if you say, I would say monumental is really a grandeur and something that is exclusive. It's definitely not inclusive, at least when it was built. I'm talking of the past monumental structures that I'm referring to. Whereas monument, I guess we're not entering into monument because monument even could be a small war memorial or a plaque or anything, So we're clearly talking about monumental, if I'm right.
Absolutely.
A larger scale, very grandeur scale. And
like an iconic building.
Iconic buildings. And how do we, when we are building today or when we are designing today, what kind of a synergy that we would like to have between monumental and do we redefine monumental today to be more inclusive? I don't know if because this is a very debatable subject. What should be monumental today? So maybe you can all probably I don't know if we.
Yeah, I think over cocktail and dinner we can discuss more on this.
It's like this. In the past, monuments, as I said, which won't be back again, is a large area which can create an impact in the society there, because that gives the people an identity in that particular area that I belong to this place and things like that. But today, what's happening is architecture has become more of a universal subject. Only if you create location-wise monuments, it will no stronger hold good. How it can be transformed.
I will describe. If you look at IIM Ahmedabad, where we can't reach the staircase which is huge in span, leading to Louis Vuitton Square itself.
It's monumental. In terms of space, when Philip Johnson creates at NCP in Mumbai, the same volume which is 3/4 and a staircase moving leading to the auditorium here, that is small.
Correct.
This has a special quality. Whereas we are getting into, कितना बड़ा है, कितना छोटा है, कितने पैसे लगे, क्या finishing है, ये सब monumental नहीं है.
No, monumental is the scale we're talking about, whether it's needed. It's got a very different wide perspective. So the thing is, since there is a limitation, there is a certain areas which interest in the particular time is what we're going to discuss. The thing is, as you rightly said, staircases are the ones as we are a wider area which creates a larger scale as monumental, which you said, I am Ahmedabad. Very, very true. At the same time, today's scenario where we have bus stations, or those also could be created in an area where people could be moving there, because everybody can't go to IIM Ahmedabad to see, or institutions getting into. So the thing is, if you make this accessible to people, getting more people involved in the particular things happening, developing around, I think architecture could be enjoyed in a much better way.
Absolutely, Deepak. So now over to you, Monica. While prioritizing pedestrian spaces and public squares is important, how can we ensure that these areas remain vibrant and engaging for the community?
Yeah, I think this kind of is quite similar to the previous questions that I answered. I think we can make public spaces more vibrant by, you have art. You can enhance the aesthetics through art. Then you can encourage community activities like cultural activities. Now, suppose you have a square and it becomes a place for people to gather and also to congregate and to have social interaction. So we encourage cultural activities in these areas, then we bring about a greater sense of community and social cohesion. Then we can also actually make the place, public places vibrant by planting trees and, having a green infrastructure, like either through gardens and rain gardens and green roofs. So this actually, not only does it enhance the environment, but also it actually reduces air pollution and improves the quality of air. Then another way of actually making these spaces vibrant is by involving the community, like Deepak said. You involve the community and you have the stakeholders also involved. Then you can create meaningful spaces by catering to the needs and aspirations of the society. And the minute they get involved, then the space becomes more meaningful and people are more motivated to use those spaces. Then I think also by incorporating smart technologies, like if we have then if you have things like say smart lighting systems which use less energy, you have smart irrigation systems which use water, optimize the use of water for the landscape and all that. So you can have a sustainable environment, and these also can add to the
Yeah, so we're talking about this pedestrian spaces and public squares. So how do we engage the community here?
Yeah, like cultural activities, if you have.
You, Naren?
Yeah, I think in terms of urban planning, I mean, I would specifically, if you look at Mangalore, I think we're presently doing very poor, because I think we as architects are also not engaging enough with the urban bodies, and probably even in terms of how the whole structure is in terms of citizens participating in developing our city. Even though I believe Mangalore is one of the highest, has had one of the highest expenditure on footpaths, but if you look at any of them, we can hardly
it's not
walk.
inclusive.
Yeah, so we can hardly walk. Yeah. And even if you look at the road widths, we're having more and more speeding vehicles, whereas we don't have good enough spaces to walk freely, especially elderly. If you look at the dividers that is coming in between the heart of the city, it's all for speeding. Whereas when we have to cross, the elderly also go over this divider and a lot of them trip and there are plants. So I think there is a long way, at least in our city, for it to be inclusive. Even in terms of community space, of course, there's. But if you look at it, the people themselves putting up these small community, events and the performances on the side of the roads, that is still happening. And the other thing which I strongly see is the Friends Club, It's everywhere. We don't know how they attain that prime land, prime real estate, but there are these small Friends Club which you find almost in every zones too. Yeah, so I think, but we have a long way to go unless everybody is more participative in making these spaces more inclusive and more vibrant. I think it's difficult.
Okay, over to you, Deepak, now. Yeah.
Just to add on to what he said, since it is about vibrancy, it's about, I think, life and the life on the street and life on the, plazas or the common public spaces. This reminds me of, what a quote from Aldo Van Eyck, whatever space and time mean to us, in the image of a common man, space is place and time is occasion. So how do we, craft these occasions in for the people who are moving, loitering, lingering in these spaces, and can we design the underlying structure of the space that invites people to, come together, to feel associated, to feel belonged to? So that brings in vibrancy. And I think the challenges that we have is the contextual challenge, which we cannot have the plazas that the Western cities have. We are somewhere in between, the scorching sun and the wetness. How do we deal with wetness? And when we are talking about wetness, then in this wetness, what are our public spaces? The openness. Then 6 months when it is the wettest, how do we not accessible? Yeah, and it's not accessible. And what do we mean by plazas? What do we mean by pedestrian? So I think these are the larger questions that we have to think, wonder, maybe.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think whenever we think of inclusivity or any of these terms, also, it's all defined by the West, right? Including these terms, these spaces, this plaza, like he rightly said. I don't think we need to look at the world or the globe in terms of how we should be inclusive. We need to really see it in microscopic detail in terms of what works well for our city in our climate. I think he was absolutely right. And here, I think you'll go into very different, I try to do one project for the smart city of trying to make the Mangalore bicycle friendly. So the conventional way is just to put a bicycle lane on the side of the existing road, and which was almost impossible to get that land from the other city planners. So what I tried to do was look at these bylanes, which is very small and where cars don't really ply. These are all bylanes all across the city. And I was wondering whether we can interconnect most of them, and I tried to map them. And so it was a totally different world. Even I had not explored these small onis that we call as bylanes, or the bylanes that we call as onis. But it was a totally different world. It exposed the Mangalore's different side, where the scale of architecture in the building was very different, which was much closer. It was always shaded. So I think there needs to be innovative ways of how we look at inclusiveness and how we can make this a cultural hub in our own way.
I think the Kadri Park Street is one of the classic examples. I mean, the architect has given thought to every aspect of it. There is green spaces, there is shaded spaces.
He's here sitting with us.
Yeah, I know. So I think the authorities should wake up, and I think that would be one of the vibrant spaces of Mangalore if the political system thinks, it should start functioning. It has got everything what Monica had mentioned, right from green areas, shaded places, spaces for performances or communities to get together. I think everything is there.
We use
Yeah.
She knows it better. Perfect. So, Deepak, designing for accessibility goes beyond ramps and elevators. How can architects create truly inclusive spaces that cater to the diverse needs of people of all the ages and abilities?
The thing is, I would like to define again. Generally, ramps, the idea card comes to people's mind as for only for differently abled people. But there are so many other activities. Like we are not promoting pedestrianism to an extent what required. Maybe we have a family of four, having two small kids. How are we going to walk? It's very difficult for them to walk unless we get the overall picture, the entire demography right. We will not be able to solve these issues. The thing is, how we can take it forward is incorporating all the spaces which are pedestrian friendly, which is the way where people can really enjoy the place around. That's the only way we can take it forward.
Yeah, like we're talking about like whether like architects were designing, whether we are going beyond ramps and elevators.
Yes, we have to go beyond. It's a feel. It's architecture is not just the utility areas. It's just the feel. What is
how
going
do
to
we
create.
give like
Yeah, I think like you mentioned, universal design. If we adopt universal design principles to these buildings, and they can become more than just about ramps and elevators. So, like you spoke about the 7 aspects of universal design.
Yes.
If it's flexible, so it allows more people to be able to use the space irrespective of their what do you say, like age or diverse abilities. Then if you make it if you make it, that is equitable use, and we can make it flexible. That means you actually like provide a lot of user preferences. Suppose a person is a right-handed or a left-handed person, they should be able to use easily. Similarly, if we make it such that it is more intuitive, the architecture. So what happens is even people without with diverse abilities, they can navigate easily without encountering hazards. So you can also make it like a low you can make it to utilize low physical effort. So what happens when that happens is that you even doesn't it prevents fatigue. So even if there are people who are they have chronic conditions, they can maneuver around easily.
To add to Monica's, I think we should also think of having ergonomically designed elements. Yeah, use of proper lighting and acoustics, or use materials and textures which are sensory in nature. And of course, as you said, clear and intuitive information regarding how to navigate and adapt with the entire environment. That helps a lot in creating these inclusive spaces.
What about the collection?
One another way to look at, I feel, accessibility is, apart from the physiological aspects of ramps and other thing, is the classic example of Bharat Bhavan, where the entire institution is built for artisans and craftsmen, tribal artisan craftsmen. So in the beginning itself, they're trying to include a larger so how the typology of building should be. So it's so then then Korea goes and makes a disappeared building. So it's only the empty spaces. So there's nothing on your face. There's nothing egocentric that is put on your face, but you perceive you feel at your home. I mean, the artisans, the tribal artisans. So that's also an accessible. I mean, something that is accessible.
Thanks, Praksha.
I think ultimately the safety of any space is very important. End of the day, that's when it goes beyond these things only about ramps and lifts.
Absolutely. Thanks, Deepak.
Psychologically, also people should get comfortable going to these spaces as well.
So now for your final thoughts on the future of architecture and how it can embrace both grandeur and inclusivity.
Can you repeat the question again, please?
On the future of architecture and how it can be embraced, like final thoughts on future of architecture and how it can embrace both grandeur and inclusivity.
I think we have a lot of things to learn from the history. I mean, if you see civilizations like Indus Valley or Egyptian, I think it was a balance between monumental and inclusive architecture. I think taking a cue from that and using modern technology and things, I think we can always design for the future with keeping a balance between monumental and inclusive architecture.
One thing is for sure that in the future, monumental scale or the buildings or whatever we call it should be inclusive, because without the purpose, there is no other way to go forward. I think the newer technology, the visual especially, with the new technology of visual, we can have the presence of people in many different areas through the screens itself. The newer technology will definitely play a key role in developing new spaces in the future, so that we don't have to go to an extent of spending too much, or that's where the people are concerned, why they are spending so much on this. Because that is the thought today, because everybody knows to calculate. The thing is, every government spends some money on a monument, that people will start asking questions. So in the future, a collective approach among people, involving people in this design feature is very important. And that's where the future of our design also stands, for especially creating monuments.
I still feel there cannot be a fusion between monumental and inclusive, because monumental, whatever said and done, it will be grandeur. I mean, if you think of the simple definition of monumental versus monument is a very different thing. And I think there still might be a need for monumental. I mean, of course, that time I said there might not be, but thinking back, I think there might be a few things like a large war memorial or something else that the present society would want to live back.
Something like an art gallery. Yeah, because these days all art galleries
no, I'm talking of
the monumental.
I'm not sure if that can still be called as monumental. I would say this is something that will be still very somebody who wants to, or individually or as a community, it will be very magnificent or very grand. And I think it's difficult to make it both inclusive and this.
Anything, Monica?
I too think monumental architecture is, it has to be exclusive, because it actually is, the aspiration of the person building it. So inclusive features can be added, but to kind of stay with,
so you
people.
Don't see a fusion here, between.
Yeah.
No, the very thing that when you say monumental, it does not have domestic elements. The heights are large. Everything is really huge. So I'm not sure how comfortable one would
Definitely
feel.
We can make it quite.
Oh, you can try, but the very definition that it's monumental is that you don't go with the ordinary. So that's what I think.
The basic essence of the debate is how we can bring this inclusivity into this monumental.
Yeah, I mean, you might make it more accessible and have a lot more other things than what the earlier monumental buildings did. But I think just this thing about scale itself will make it very distinctive. You might try to make it accessible and a whole lot of other things, but it'll still be quite way apart.
So anything with the audience? Okay, I think we're good to go. Yeah. Thanks, Monica. Thanks, Nireen. Thanks, Deepak. Thanks, Palaksha. And thanks, Chetan. Thank you.
So much. I request everyone to please stay back on stage for felicitation. I request all the speakers of the Doyens panel and Architect Gulshan Roy to kindly come back on stage. First of all, thank you all for making this discussion such a success. It was indeed very, very engrossing and interesting. I would now like to invite Mr. Raghavendran N., Vice President, Business Development, Marble Center International, and Raghunandan SK, Deputy Sales Director and Territory Business Lead from Dorma Kaba, to kindly come on stage and felicitate our dear panelists. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. I would now request Architect Chetan Kamath, Principal Architect from Plans Unlimited, to kindly come forward. Can we please have a huge round of applause while we felicitate our panelists? Thank you. Architect Deepak L.A. D'Souza, Principal Architect from General Corporation. Kindly come forward. Thank you. Architect Monica Kamath, partner from 2 PKM Architects. Please come forward. Thank you. Architect Niren Jain, Principal Architect from Niren Jain Architects and Environmental Planners. Guys, can we please have an applause while we are felicitating our panelists? Architect Palaksha K. Shetty, founder partner from Studio Subtle. Thank you, everyone. Can we please have a group picture? Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving us an engrossing session. I request the hotel team to kindly clear the stage. And before we jump to our next panel discussion, let us have a look at last but not the least, the movement of home wall covers. Can we please have the AV of MRF Vapocure Paints?
We know that good-looking spaces can be soothing on the mind and on the soul. And that is the beginning of the good life. It is here that we begin our journey in bringing this thought alive with our customers. From walls to furniture to metal surfaces, we will paint their world brighter. We will fill their life with color. We will paint every nook and corner with joy and laughter. We will paint that good life for them. MRF Paints. Paint that good life.
Thank you so much to the team of MRF Vapocure Paints. I would now like to call Mr. Wilson KJ, Manager for Business Development from MRF Vapocure Paints, to kindly come on stage and explain further about the wide range of interior and exterior wall paints. You have to point on that side, I guess.
Right. Good evening, Mangaluru. Thank you, ITP Media, for the opportunity. And it's been a wonderful evening. And you have the entire designer team present here. I mean, the architecture and designer fraternity from Mangaluru. And we thank you for the opportunity to present before you MRF Paints. So MRF Limited, you might be knowing, MRF Tires. It's a fully owned subsidiary of MRF Tires. And we are into paints, decorative paints from 1989. And we have started our journey with the wood coat, which is one of the flagship product of MRF. And as you know, we have 3 full-fledged manufacturing units in Chennai and a dedicated R&D center in Chennai. And we have pan-India network, and we have 4 RDC, regional distribution centers. Other than that, we have 40 plus depots from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari and even Kochi. All the wherever the requirement is there, we have our channel network and distribution network as well. And we do have a business development team to address your requirements. And in the coming days, we are happy to meet you and introduce our products to you. So this is our band bedrock. Good living starts with the good looking spaces. So you are all aware. Wherever there is a good space, there is a good energy, good positive energy, and good living. So this is our band bedrock for the this year. And as I have mentioned already, we have a different segment of paints, like we have wall finishes, metal finishes, wood finishes, and performance products. Coming to wall finishes, we are proud to say that all our wall finishes are Green Pro certified. I mean, the entire range, like bases, primers, even the top coats are Green Pro certified. And in order to acquire this certificate, we didn't have to put up much effort because already our R&D had done a wonderful job with a low VOC product, and we are using most of the environment-friendly raw materials for manufacturing these paints. And this is one of our luxury product, which we have recently launched, the Ruka. Ruka means beauty. So we have 151 exclusive pastel shades for the dedicated pastel shades for this particular segment, Ruka. And this is exclusively for the interior. And other than that, the Nebula shades are also available with us. And those shades are also, you can tint it in the machine and make it available. And Aquafresh is one of our flagship product which we have introduced in 2014. And this is the one of the best product with the best PUD. And we have both exterior and interior category, separate product for the interior and exterior as well. Then we have the mid segment, premium segment, Altura, which is a 2-in-1 product, wherein we have two variants, matte and sheen product. The red lit is with the high sheen level. And we do have a economy range called Visa for the interior and Campus for the exterior. In these two category also, we have matte and high sheen level product also is there. And most of our products are warranted. I mean, even for the interior also, we provide warranty. Whatever the warranty we offer for the exterior, we do provide for the interior as well. And we do give a better washability, I mean, best in class washability in terms of all our wall finishes. And we do have a for arresting the dampness, we have damp guard, and we provide 8 years performance warranty for this particular product. And this is purely for the exterior. And very shortly, we will be coming up with a product, damp guard product for the interior as well. And we do have dedicated primers for all these top coats. For Aquafresh, as I mentioned earlier, it's a PUD. So we have a PUD primer for this Aquafresh range. And for the mid segment, we have Altura primer. And for the economy, we have Cella primer. Coming to wood finishes, we have water-based and solvent-based solution in wood finishes. So Aquacoat 1K is our for the interior, and Aquacoat 2K is for the exterior. In this particular variant, we have floor coat, anti-skid floor coat, both glossy and clear finishes as well. And this is one of our flagship product, wood coat, which we had launched in 1993. And ever since we launched this particular product, the demand is really high. From the 1993 to till now, this product is very well accepted in the market, and no replacement is being available for this particular segment. And Woodcoat Italia, as there is a trend for the more requirement for the Italian finishes, so we do have come up with a Italian finish called Woodcoat Italia. And this is the first and only product indigenously developed in India. And we do have an economy range for the wood as well. Easy Wood 2-in-1, which can be used for the interior and exterior as well. And this particular product is mainly for the furniture industry. And our other offerings in the economic segment is fresh wood, then trade wood, and melamine. Coming to metal finishes, MC Metal Coat is one of our flagship product, which we have introduced in 1996. And this is also very popular across India. Most of the applicators very well recommend this particular product. And this is a multi-purpose product. Though the name is Metal Coat, it can be applied on any cementitious surface, any kind of wood, any kind of metal, and even plastic. And for each substrate, we have dedicated primers as well. And MC Plus is a tintable version of Metal Coat. Metal Coat, it's a factory tinted shades, wherein MC Plus, you can have n number of shades. The Nebula shades, the 30,000 plus Nebula shades. Other than that, the competitor shades, whatever is required, we can tint it and you can get it available. And Durothin is an economical offering of Metal Coat, and it's a multi-purpose product as well. And the advantage of this Durothin is it's a brushable. All the rest of the products are like Metal Coat or wood coat. You have to use a spray gun to get the optimum finish. And the other offerings in this segment is acrylic superfine, then Spectra PU enamel, and Epidec. Spectra PU enamel, we provide 2 years performance warranty as well. When it comes to performance product, as I mentioned, acrylic superfine is a metallic shades. We in solvent based. We do have water based metallic finishes as well, which is Altura metallic, and we do have a cool paint for the roof, wherein the heat reduction is you can avail up to 15% of heat reduction. And Zameen is for the paver blocks and concrete surfaces for the exterior surfaces. So we have better adhesion and better color retention and better anti-skid property in this particular product. And we are offering 4 years performance warranty for the exterior. And glass coat is for the glass. And we do have glass coat adhesives wherein you need any particular shade. If you add a glass coat adhesive, you can directly use on the glass surface. With any transparent surface, you want to convert it into it's a frosted finish or any colors, opaque colors, or a metallic shades you want to apply on glass, you can. After using this product, you can get that finish. And some of the iconic projects we had done is Amma Memorial in Chennai, which is in a saline area like a marine beach, Marina Beach very close to the beach. And after 7 years, we have repainted with the same finish. I mean, all the other competitors were also there present in this particular project. And it was only our product which got approved. And this is Mercus Knowledge City in Calicut. And the gold is painted with Altura metallic. And it's a suspension bridge in Punalur, Kollam. And the metal part is painted with the metal coat. And this is Gujarat Ahmedabad Swami Pramukh Swami Maharaja statue, which is painted with acrylic superfine gold, bright gold. How we support? As I mentioned, we have dedicated team and we have a pan-India distribution network. So we request your support in the coming days, and we are looking forward to have a coloring your projects across India. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we now move on to the next and final session of this evening, the next gen panel discussion with the new age architects who will build the architecture for tomorrow. And to commence the next gen panel discussion, everyone please welcome on stage yet again our very talented curator and moderator for this edition, Architect Gulshan Roy. So can we please have you back on stage? Can we please have a louder round of applause? Thank you, sir. I now leave the forum to you. Yes.
Welcome again. And now I would like to call upon the next gen architects our dynamic Rachana Maroli, the co-founder and principal architect of RPG Design Studio. Rachana's vision is fueled by curiosity and shared mindset, and she has received lots of recognition and architectural awards on national stage. So the next one, another dynamic lady who walks the ramp, Shama Wazid. Shama is an architect and a professor based in Bangalore with over a decade of experience shaping the city's architectural landscape. Masters in Advanced Design in 2019 from Manipal University. A professor of architecture, she has mentored numerous students. Shama's commitment to both architecture and field of art has made her a valued member of Mangalore's academic and cultural communities. I would like to welcome architect Lyndon Patrao, a graduate of Manipal Institute of Technology and has been practicing in Mangalore since 2011 under Gulshan Roy. So now he's a solo practitioner under his banner studio LP Design, primarily focusing on modern residential designs along with interior solutions. Now I'd like to welcome architect Pramod Kumar, a very passionate guy who has a Firmline Architects and Interiors, which began his journey again in 2011 at Bangalore. Being registered with the COA and having all his experiences abroad, he's got lots of experience. I would like to welcome architect Nikhil Raj, principal architect at Art Frame Design Studio, graduated from Srinivas College of Architecture. So there are lots of students from Srinivas who would love to see how Nikhil would debate. Okay, well, welcome one and all. Yeah. Okay, now let's start with two questions. We have monumental and we have inclusivity. So how do you describe monumentalism as? Monumental as? Check.
All right. From my perspective, I think monumental is something it's in the title itself, grand, something that's grand, something that brings about some sense of impressive look. Need not be, in my opinion, grand or monumental, need not be something of a large volume as we had in the previous panel. Large volumes could be even large spaces, wider spaces spread over a larger area, could be grand. That is in a monument in itself. And there's another perspective also, looking at the historical structures built in, you say, to inspire awe or to inspire some kind of, I would say, domination or, it's bringing community together. So I think from my perspective, monumental would be.
Are you all with it, or like you have something to say?
What I believe is monumental architecture, any kind of architecture, I would like to say it like that, itself is very powerful, because it's architecture's got that power to encourage or uplift an user. At the same time, it can discourage and exclude someone. So I see monumental in that way. So I feel, like Lyndon just mentioned about, as architects, I think we should more focus on making buildings which are inclusive. So monumental, when I said, it is grandeur, it is the scale, but at another angle, when you see it is the user experience. It's the end
Right
experience.
now, like the question is more on the monumental, what you call monument as.
Yes, so I feel monumental is that. So monumental to me is which in a large scale, it really alters someone's life. So I may get inspired by the scale or, by the way it is. So I see monumental in that way. It's not just a built form, but what it does even beyond it.
Yeah, I think the definition of monument will change over time. See, olden days, we know the history. Somebody from the panel, seniors panel, they mentioned they built it for power, show their power as a symbol of their some kingdom, etc. Right. So, in today's context, the definition of monument might be something different. That's what I feel. It changes with the time. Like, see, some functional buildings, something built for some other purpose or monument is called as a monument now. Maybe Taj Mahal, it is built for something else, but right now it is a monument. Monument. Maybe some other temple, many temples we can take as an example, built to glorify some kingdom. Right now, it is a monument. So it may change with the time.
But here we are like more specific on the monumental thing. It could be an iconic building too. Yeah.
Yes.
You're on the same page. So how do you describe inclusivity as?
Well, inclusivity is that's a very different perspective. You could include. So I think in the previous panel it was inclusivity with different hierarchies of society, economic backgrounds. You have the, physically challenged. So inclusivity could be considering all these aspects and incorporating them in monumental structures, iconic structures. Now that will be a little hard. Say already built structures in previous eras. So in those, inclusivity was not considered because it is very exclusive. It was meant for certain strata of society.
Absolutely.
Right now, when we live in a society where everybody is a part and parcel of everyday life. You have to include them, and it's just equitable. Give them equal, societal justice. So it's everybody should be made a part and parcel of your design process as well as the architecture. I consider that as inclusive, physically challenged to even different economic backgrounds, gender included. So I think for me that is inclusivity.
Thank you. So first and foremost, thank you for the question. So wonderful question. Regarding inclusivity, for me, I would like to describe this with an example because we being in Mangalore, so I would like to speak in context of what we see in Mangalore. So if you see the recent smart city development that is happening, the one example I could say is the Gujarekere Lake. Because I have a lot of family people, my relatives staying there in that vicinity. Several years back when I used to pass by that, it used to be like a barren land with some patch of water, dirty water, and things like that. But now when I see, it is a totally a different scenario. So how the lake has been developed with its shape, with its the materials maybe, and also pathways and the flora and fauna, how it has been developed. And now my own family members, it has become a routine for them to be there on a morning. They walk, they also use the open equipments to work out. And also for me, this is also can be considered as inclusivity because we make the people gather there. We create more community spaces there. And I think it could be a better neighborhood there. So I think that is also can be considered inclusivity other than the whatever the universal principles that we are talking about.
Do you all agree? Whatever you show.
Yeah, so now we're talking about inclusivity. So I think we're all talking about the design, how to include people. I feel like even when making design decisions, we should include the opinions of the people. That is, you talk to the stakeholders, inclusive in that way as well. Because the moment you take their decisions, once the any sort of development or any sort of structure is made, they will take certain amount of pride in saying that, okay, this is what we wanted and this is what was done because we had given our opinion. So it kind of creates a sense of community, I feel, and a strong sense of connection between the people as well. So I feel like include them in the design process. So I would want to say inclusivity in that manner as well. So yeah.
See, in my opinion, as everybody already spoke about that, in layman's language, two aspects. One is physiological aspect, one is psychological aspect. Physiological is ramps and all those things, how to make it comfortable for physically challenged, different gender, different age, etc. Psychological is very basically speaking, are you comfortable going there? Or that building is speaking to you? Or do you want to participate in that building? That is what I feel. Like that building should be speaking to everybody and making sense for everybody to go there, have nice time and enjoy the spaces there.
Maybe the building will be like, too large, too overpowering. Maybe people just fear going to it. Make it probably more inviting, welcoming. I mean, a lot of our monuments, monumental architecture, you see, it's large volumes. It's, like I said, dominating. It's meant to, inspire awe. I think inclusivity would be more of welcoming them to take part or to enter, to experience the structure, experience the architecture, So I think one of the presentations on Shuko, it was we build to feel. I think I've written it down. So make sure that a place is not seen but felt.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So if it's only seen, as architects, we're actually, I feel we have to lend an experience to the users.
So make it more inclusive.
Make it more inclusive.
Absolutely.
Make them feel more welcoming. Make them want to come and experience the place. Come and have a little bit of curiosity of what's happening. At that level of, if we include them at that level itself, it is inclusive and it's successfully inclusive.
Perfect. Thanks to you all. So I'll come with a Mangalorean context here. How can we define grandeur in the context of Mangaluru's future architecture? Can a network of interconnected, accessible public spaces be just as grand as a single monumental structure?
Yeah. The speciality of Mangalore is, if we see geographically, not speciality, one of the feature of Mangalore. I think the city is not horizontally growing. We can just compare it like mini Mumbai. It's a vertically growing city. So
very true.
So maybe creating an interconnected layout for the city development or a monument for a monumental structure. I don't know whether it will really make the city better. Maybe in the outskirts, if we push this monumental structure outskirts of the city, maybe it is true.
Why not treat the whole city as a monument?
See, whole city, treating a whole city is
by and large, I think the whole city is a monument by itself.
By itself, by itself. We have so many.
No, I'm talking about creating a new monuments interconnected as an interconnected element, right? So for me, making a single structure makes more sense considering the climate and the type of city. Suppose if see Mysore or Delhi, etc., it has huge roads, trees, etc. But in Mangalore, it's already only is narrow roads. We don't have space. Correct. That is what I feel.
So to add on to the onis that Pramod has recently said, so okay, the streets, the interconnected spaces, what you're talking about, mainly I think we should look in close to the roads and the streets what we have. I think now we are all fed up with the pouring rains that we have. I think it's nice to see people also amongst the crowd. They're all here even before
Absolutely.
the rains
Big
are there.
numbers.
Yeah, but you see how when we commute through the city and when you travel outskirts of the city, nowadays we see very dangerous potholes. We see some waterlogged areas. It is so disgusting to see. We when we ourselves when we drive and there are waterlogged areas, and if somebody is close to me and I by mistakenly put my vehicle and it is splashing water on him, it's like inches sao man. So as Mangaloreans, we are all so familiar to all these words that inches sao, what that this.
So the thing was like whether like we have a single imposing structure or like interconnected, accessible public squares and parks.
Yeah, so I go with what Lyndon said. Mangalore itself is monumental because the people in Mangalore, the culture, the festival, everything is alive. That's what we are. Even our senior panel where they spoke about the our Kudroli temple procession or many other instances like that. So we have a lot of things happening. See, first of all, I feel we are very lucky because this is a place which has all kind of historically practices done with the science. So a lot of things that way also. I think our ancestors had that wisdom. Okay, so I feel our life is what the city is. So the city is very vibrant, and if you restrict it to a monumental structure, so probably there is limitation in how you can enjoy that space. Probably it will open up in a certain time or
So
a
you
certain...
say like we have this interconnected spaces,
Yes,
have public squares.
yes, I feel that is good because I feel it should be celebrated daily. It
But
should
again, we had from the drawing saying
Where
that
do we
public
have the
squares
space for that?
would be like, we have 6 months of wet and another 6 months of
Correct.
total heat.
Yes, that should be considered. And so if we know that there are 6 months of wet and 6 months of, so we know how, maybe we will come up with a solution how to deal with this also. So just to give a small example, we have Mangalore tiles as one of our material, which is, it has a history. And today we see a decline of it. We are talking about why these factories are shut down, probably because there are a lot of new materials that has come up. But we are not talking about what the problem is. Why could it have led to a decline of this Mangalore tile? So probably it would be some certain problems that we have faced. So there is some maintenance problem, or it is not fitting well for the lifestyle that we are having today. So probably there are so many reasons why we have discontinued it, but we have not spoken about what can we do. As designers, nobody has even tried to even improvise in terms of design or even application of that Mangalore tile. So probably I think there is a gap there.
Rachana, I see that more in your work. Okay, now accessibility goes beyond physical limitations. How can architects design monumental spaces that cater to the sensory needs, cultural backgrounds, and cognitive abilities of diverse audience?
Again, one thing coming in my mind is again, Mr. Deepak had told in the discussion, like you create more open spaces, so that people from different backgrounds, maybe people from different religion, different caste, creed, or maybe people, disabled people, elder people, kids, everybody. It's a neutral place. The open space is always a neutral place. Everybody can relate there. They can enjoy that space. So creating more space, open spaces might be a solution for it.
The question, yes.
Yeah, accessibility goes beyond physical limitations. How can architects design monumental spaces that cater to the sensory needs, cultural backgrounds, and cognitive abilities of a diverse audience?
Well, there are practices. We have already talked about ramps, tactile surfaces, signages, auditory signages. I think it's a challenge. It'll be a challenge. But
There's see, we've already spoken about ramps and elevators. So while I was researching for this panel discussion, I got introduced to this neuro architecture, about neuro architecture. So that's where I studied that okay, architecture can even go even beyond what we are thinking in terms of ramps and elevators, because neuro architecture is somewhere where it applies neuroscience into your built spaces. So we are going into that minute level of detail where we are thinking about experiences. Just to give a small example, an abled person walking into a bathroom, his perspective of looking into a vanity, the bathroom vanity, is totally different from a person who is on a wheelchair. So his way of looking at that vanity is very different. So I think all these minor things, minor things also matters. Ramps and elevators, yes, it is, but beyond it, we also think about how these spaces are really impacting us. It could be the kind of adequate light. What kind of sensory changes we have in our brain to this level? So in terms of organizing spaces, colors.
Yeah, as architects, I think the awareness should be, we have to have the awareness in the first place.
Yes.
And why not involve so these people, say physically challenged and different diverse cultures as part of the design process. They being the stakeholders. Collaborate with special need people, and I think that will enable us to learn, be aware, and make use of their practices or their needs in our design process. I think that will help us even incorporate or include them in
some kind of a sensory features too.
Yeah, sensory features definitely, but then there's also their usage, like Rashna said, a person standing and a person in a wheelchair has different heights. How do you use that? How do you match that? So I think there has to be some kind of a middle ground.
They should be diverse in our thinking.
Also, we can bring some technology into the picture. New generation artificial intelligence, and we have some line follower robots, robotic vehicles,
predictable pathways, and
voice control technology, and also AI, VI, and all those things. Maybe crowd management system, like beforehand only you will know where the crowd is more, which place is more crowded, whether you want to go there or not go there. All those things can be done.
This is like how Shama has told, like how to include people in the design process. Now, like, how can you involve Mangalore's diverse communities in the design process? Because we are quite diverse for new structures. Can this be a participatory approach led to more inclusive and meaningful form of grandeur?
So of course, a participatory approach from all the people, the citizens of Mangalore and everybody. So it adds to the decision making.
Yeah.
So
but we are diverse.
Yeah, of course. So as we, I set an example before about the lake that was being developed. So there is no any cultural barrier or a religion barrier for people gathering there. In a certain way, I think architects first ourselves has to be educated on what we are really up to. We are not just building a building, but also we are adding value to that building. So that is where I think we need to include in the policy level, maybe as the organization, as a fraternity, we have IAA, we have many other organizations. We should try to involve the general public so that they also put their opinions on how a city can be developed also.
Linda, what about you?
I think it's about education and awareness. And first of all, we should understand, if you're including people in the design making decisions, we should understand what their values are, what their needs are, what their aspirations are. I feel like once that has been listened to, I feel automatically the design becomes much more inclusive. I think maybe having few workshops or some collaborations, as my fellow panelists mentioned before, I think that becomes very, very important And also, I feel people who are not, I think using digital as a platform, like digital surveys or things like that, if people can put forth their opinions through, social media or any other digital platform, I think we could be more inclusive that way.
Is it advisable to include them in the design process, first of all?
To some extent, I believe yes, because ultimately, I think, we're designing for them.
Whether to include them or not, I don't know, but definitely we should know about them.
I think not necessarily the entire design process. It's just the beginning. It's just an understanding, say in the form of a questionnaire.
So we should definitely know about them. See,
In the form of a questionnaire, or you're just taking viewpoints of you have any doubts. I think it's educating ourselves first and then incorporating those practices in our own projects will probably push forth these ideas into the general public. It also comes, like Sharma said, education. In the our curriculum, if accessibility is an important, inclusivity is also included. Again, included. You see, that's the word. It is not. It has to be included.
Included.
Right. Everybody has to be part of the process for it to be used. If one or two are using, it's just going to be neglected. So if everybody is included, so it's inclusive.
One example for this is the Kandalama Hotel in Sri Lanka. Yes, by Geoffrey Bawa. So if you see, this is a hotel where I think the community will not allow it to close. So initially when it was built, there was a lot of, against protests for the hotel coming there, because it was a place where the farmers used to depend on the lake, which is nearby. And they felt it was definitely, they felt there was a threat. But at that time, how Geoffrey Bawa and his client, how they worked out in bringing the community together, that today, I think probably the first, the hotel had the staff, the first staffs of the hotel were from the community itself. And today it is even continued. So they are growing crops and giving back to the hotel.
This is something which is...
Yes. So which is an excellent example, and not just in terms of community inclusive, even at the way how he's built it over there. Yeah. So it is inclusive of everything. I mean, it's open to the wild nature.
Wild nature.
So that is the best example, I feel.
Thanks, Rachna. Historically, to you, Rachna, again, Mangalore's grand architecture has been primarily religious. Should the city explore building secular monumental structures that celebrates its diverse cultural heritage and achievements beyond religion?
We have a lot of beautiful religious buildings, temples, churches, mosques. And I think when you say secular buildings, I'm considering non-religious. Yes. So I feel there is an important, role this secular buildings will play, because it will not represent any religion. So in that way, there is equality in terms of how we will celebrate or gather together to celebrate anything. So it could be a pride. So collectively, it could be a pride.
So here is like more monumental secular buildings.
Yes, we need it. I feel there is a need.
What about others? What's your take on this?
Yeah, absolutely. There is no need to change the present monumental infrastructure or the face of Mangalore, because it is catering, we all know, it is catering all religions, major religions here.
We need a secular one.
100% we need a secular in the sense, as she said, non-religious. Maybe we can make the best utilization of the Mangalore nature and the greenery we have. Maybe basically we can divide into two zones, maybe blue zone and green zone. See, it is a beautiful place and a special place where we have Western Ghats also. We have a coastal area also. It's very rare that we see such kind of place. So maybe dividing into two zones, green zone and blue zone. In blue zone, waterfront development, like we see, I mean, we can take several examples in India. And green zone can be something related to nature, such monuments, which is specific to Mangalore culture. And
Of course, I believe a secular community building or a monumental building is much more needed, because Mangaluru religion is an untouched part, because it has become our routine, the celebrations and the whatever festivals we do. So it's a different story. So I feel we having a secular monumental building is much more needed, because as we value a person, I think we need to first value him as a human and not for what religion or the caste he belongs to. So this can happen in these kind of community spaces where people engage themselves in some public activities and wellness programs and some well-being programs and things like that. So I think it is much more needed.
See, I just remembered our Indrajit Saoji, Mr. Indrajit Saoji, he just mentioned in his welcome speech, just mentioned about food. What is more secular than food? Correct? What is more secular than food? See, in Mangalore, you take any other city,
Known for
maybe
its
our South Indian,
fish.
Madras. No, you take any other South Indian city, Madras or nearby Kerala, Andhra Pradesh. Generally, same kind of food, right? I mean, I don't want to name the food. Maybe it will become controversial again. So, yeah, no, it will become controversial. But Mangalore has such a potential and diverse food, and it has all the, I mean, we have all the chances to create one monument related
back to the
food. Maybe
the food
food
now.
museum recently.
I'll come back to the. So the street vendors are a vital part of Mangalore's culture. How can the city design inclusive public spaces that cater to their needs while also maintaining a clean and organized environment? It's for the panel.
So of course, the street vendors here are a vital part of what we see as a cityscape or the urban fabric that we spoke about. Looking at the recent developments of markets and relocating the markets, I feel the shopkeepers who are coming out because of the development or the construction are making patches here and there, just putting their shops or tables, is making a little shabbier, because are also creating some nuisance for public, because people are parking their vehicles here and there to buy.
You can see even that around the Gandhinagar area too.
Yeah.
The Mangala Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. So even I personally go to that area where the swimming pools are there. So very nice food. But of course, it is not designed for that. So the beauty of the city is lost, because you just place your shops wherever you. So what I feel as a future or the next gen design development that can happen, we need to identify certain spots for them. Maybe certain areas that has MLCP, and you make that zone only pedestrian, and these zones are specified. It becomes a landmark of Mangalore. For street food you go for this area, for market you go for this area, for any other electronic gadgets or shopping you go for this area. So the city inside is, I think, more cleaner and more accessible to all of us, and there is no nuisance also.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue from where Nikhil stopped. I feel like designating vendors, area for vendors, doing all of that is fine. But I feel like the main problem here with street vendors, what I mainly see is the maintenance issue in terms of hygiene. So I feel like a management system, maybe at a policy level, is required, or some sort of rules and regulations for the vendors or the people who actually come to that place to use that service. They need to follow a certain rule. I think more than designing for them, yes, we could do that. We could designate an area, we could give them space, we could design a certain amount of, design a cart, all of that. But what happens once you start using the space? There's a lot of mess that happens. So I think a management system has to be designed involving the architects, yes, of course, because we know how the process works of the whole thing. And maybe at some level, at a policy level also, we need to put down some restrictions and rules, maybe fines or something for violating such this one. So I think that is a little more important when it comes to street vendors.
Any other? So another debatable question. Some argue that focusing on monumental architecture solely attracts tourists, neglecting the needs of residents. Should Mangalore prioritize creating a more livable city for its citizens, even if it means sacrificing some tourist appeal?
I think always the citizens first. In my opinion, the citizen has been here and will be here, will remain here. So
But we
tourism,
want
definitely
tourists, right?
tourism.
So that the Mangalore grows.
Yeah, definitely. We are tier two city now. We are on a fast road to development. I think tourism will bring in some. It'll increase the economy of the city. It'll bring in a lot of new ventures. It'll bring in a lot of new people. It'll bring in a lot of new problems also. So I think tourism has its own negative side as well as positive side. I think we just have to be uh, careful of the residents who have been here. It's a this Mangalore is a heritage. It has its own history. It is a diverse. It's a city of diverse cultures, diverse societies. I think we need to retain them first, take care of them first, and tourism definitely can be encouraged, but I think to a limit.
It's as simple as that. If a person in a house is not happy, he's always going to see the guests as nuisance. Yeah, why is this guy here? So I feel like first taking care of the people here because they're the backbone ultimately. They're happy, they welcome tourists in a very happy mood. If they themselves are not okay, then they're like, we are not happy. Why are you here? That kind of, I feel that is the thing. So I think striking a balance between the two is also important while keeping the citizens' needs obviously, your first priority, I feel.
Citizens first. That's always.
Yeah, we should not completely write off the idea of making monuments. No, I don't agree on that because maybe see in city means like okay, maybe central business district CBD of the place. I don't know where is the CBD in Mangalore, but in that place we can avoid some monuments which will again disturb the people and culture. Maybe you slightly push towards maybe see. We can take example of maybe Sabarmati riverfront. I think people are happy there. Nobody got affected. Maybe people who got affected got a better life, and washermen, so many washermen were included. Such beachfront,
Yeah, but that was like that was
development.
an unused plot of land at first, right?
Similar way, we should finalize and search for such potential sites in Mangalore.
Like
Maybe
it doesn't disturb the city in the
city and people more,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
which will make
That would be a good balance.
Again, like without the tourist, the city won't grow.
Correct.
Yeah.
So even all of us, that's what we are fighting for. Like we want tourists, and we want our city to grow.
No, even we will be proud. No, like it will bring fame, name to the place.
Yes.
So again, it's 9:45. I'm again talking about food. It's like an omelette. You ask whether you require salt or pepper. Maybe without pepper, I think we can manage, but without salt, I don't think it may taste good. So salt are like the residents here because we had our ancestors here who have, created the history in Mangalore. So that is why we are attracting tourists here. So I think the first priority, again, with the balance, I think the first priority would go to the citizens here and the residents here. And then of course, the tourists, like how you said, of course, is like, generating revenue for us. Yeah. And that is it where we need to have a good
Basically,
balance.
we need to design
good balance.
like a balance.
And yeah, if I can take an example of Goa, we recently had to visit this Fountainous. So the Portuguese street that is a.
I think they're not welcoming.
Yeah, that's what. So it shows. Yeah, it shows as a tourist spot. But when we, with my family, were posing for photo, I could see water balloons falling in my head because the people there didn't want to, welcome the tourists.
Yeah,
there.
because
So Goa is a good example of tourism, tourism versus the citizen.
Yes,
I think that's a prime example.
Good.
I mean, if that's the case and Mangalore turning out to be that way, I don't think anybody would be happy.
Good one. So this is the final question for today's next gen. Imagine a proposed new monumental structure in Mangaluru sparks controversy. One half of the community sees it as a symbol of progress and civic pride, while the other views it as an unnecessary expense and a disruption to city's character. How can architects and community leaders bridge this divide and find a solution that satisfies both sides?
it's a little bit of a controversial thing, no, right?
Very tough
So it's a
question.
tough question. So how do you bridge the gap? You put me.
It can be explained like how Deepak sir told regarding the Statue of Unity. So before it was built, I think the bureaucrats had a lot of discussion whether you
put forward the pros and the cons.
Yeah, whether it is required or not required, because it is making.
That was a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whether it is required to spend so much on a statue of a particular person, yeah. But now I think the scene is different. I think it is giving some glory to what India is, and it is showing some freedom movement, and also it is generating some income. Also, it is showing an architectural grandeur also. So it depends on the generation what we are in. So how we debate and get the things passed in the policy level. So it is there what everything happens in the decision level. I think whether it is needed or not has to be a decision between all the representatives of the city.
See, I feel if the project, this monumental project is, if it is very intense, valid, and properly thought, I think minor imperfections should be in the background. Okay. We should still go for the monument.
You're always going to receive objections to any kind of endeavor, development. One man's, gift is another man's poison. I think we're not getting the right phrasing, but it's always going to be opposition, objection. I think we have to find the balance, and that comes from the beginning at the design stage itself. Awareness of everybody's sensibilities and finding the middle ground. And if you can't find the middle ground, I think that's the policy makers for that. Just make a new rule.
Rachana, you?
Yeah, I think we need to see the balance here. And if you're talking about our city, in a lot of way, we are actually integrated. We are one. In a lot of our traditions and a lot of culture or whatever we want to show, that is why people are coming to us. I think regardless of anything, any religion, any caste, I think in certain terms we are one. So way.
But when you have a monument like a Statue of Unity built in Mangalore,
as long as it doesn't hurt anyone's sentiments, or as long as it is generating income, giving people jobs, or if your people are still talking good more than bad about it, and obviously ultimately it's a public monument, you're using the taxpayers funds to be building it. So obviously we have to involve them. I'm going to keep saying that like repeatedly, but yeah, you have to involve them in the decision making. So make sure that it doesn't, spark a controversy, because it will only create this controversy if you don't take their opinions. So I feel like as long as it doesn't bother anyone or anyone's sentiments, I feel it's okay. Maybe it should not be built just to justify a certain person's ego. I mean, that's all it makes sense.
Thanks to our next gen. Wonderful job. A big round of applause to our next gen. And to conclude this session, I've got a small little thing here. We as architects are storytellers who shape the human experience through design. From hospitals to schools, civic centers to homes, we create space that touch people at every stage of life. As we heard today, the challenge lies in ensuring these stories are inclusive and accessible to all. By prioritizing inclusivity alongside grandeur, architects can design spaces that truly celebrate the rich tapestry of human experience. It's basically from, what do you say, from where you're born to grave. That's what it is. Thank you.
I request everyone to kindly stay back for felicitation, and thank you so much, Gulshan sir, for ending this session on such a lovely note. If we have the time, if we have 5 more minutes, can we have a Q&A round if anybody has questions in the audience? right after felicitation. Okay. So finally, we wrap up the last but not the least and the most intriguing session of tonight, the next gen panel discussion. I request Mr. Wilson KJ, Manager Business Development from MRF Vapocure Paints. And Mr. Jatin Tyagi, Head Residential Business India from Shuko India, to kindly come on stage and felicitate the next gen panelists. Okay, I request Architect Lyndon Patrow, Principal Architect from Studio LP Design, to please come forward. Architect Nikhil Raj, Principal Architect, Arc Frame Design Studio. I think that's okay. That's okay. Join from that side. Architect Pramod Kumar, Principal Architect and Founder, Firmline Architect. Architect Rachna Maroli, Principal Architect, RGP Design Studio. Can we please have a round of applause for all our panelists? And Architect Shama Wazid, Principal Architect and Professor of Architecture, ArcNet Design Solution. Thank you so much, everyone. I request everyone to stay back for a group picture. Thank you so much, everyone. And that wraps up the Design Debate Mangalore edition. And it has been a joy to be here. You all have been an amazing audience, and I thank everyone for your patience. From me and the entire team of ITP Media Group, I'd like to thank our associate partner, Shuko India, and our category partners, Marble Center International, Dorma Kaba, Fundamax, and MRF Vapocure Paints. Thank you all for your support. And of course, I'd like to thank our esteemed audience yet again, our guest of honor, our very dear curator and moderator, and all our panelists for taking time to make this evening a phenomenal success. It was truly a joy to be able to pick your brains. Mangalore, it was indeed a pleasure to see you again. Until next time. Thank you.
Thank you.